What is up, everybody? I am Mr. Christopher. This is the mighty, mighty Michael Bland.
Wait a minute, man. I just think I noticed something that I maybe just figured out.
What's
Is
that?
James Brown's hair switching from an afro to
Yeah,
like the cankaleen?
yes, it is.
Man, I never even noticed that before, man. The afro goes away and it gets all straight and slick.
Yeah, man.
Wow, man. Okay,
Yeah, man.
I'm starting to get it now.
Yeah. Sorry we're a little bit late starting the pre-show. We had some technical difficulties, and that's probably on me. Because I went from an iPhone, which I could make sure that I pull down Jesse's numbers. So I went from an iPhone to an Android because for some reason, maybe I'm just I am officially one of these old guys that does not. That is just iPhone just offers way too much for me. It's just like, look, I want to call, I want to text, I want to get on the web, check my emails. I don't need all that extra.
I do the least on my iPhone, man. I don't want to get into it. Ooh,
but I do, and I see a lot of people asking questions. Hey, is this live or is this pre-recorded? It is live as of it is live as of August 12th, 2025. It is live as of right now. So yes, and Jesse is
fool nobody.
Yeah, Jesse is already in the green room. And we were having some technical difficulties because he's going to go audio only. So we wanted to try to go with the phone option, but I don't know if it's the Android's way that it communicates with the Rodecaster Pro, which is what we have here. And we tried direct, we tried a little bit of everything, but so we're going to be doing it again where it's going to be a picture down at the bottom, but he's got a picture up. So it's great. Awesome. And we're going to be talking a lot about some really, really cool stuff that's going to be coming up. And of course his tour and whatnot. And I'm looking forward to it, man. I always love having Jesse on. He's been a good friend and love having him on the show. And as I said, what's really cool about this time is that the first time he was on, it was myself and Jeff Page. The second time that he came on, it was just me and him. And the third time, it's you and you. It's me and you. So every single time that he's come on, it's been something a little bit different.
All right.
And, yeah, man, it's all good. And I'm going to try to, I'm going to try to keep an eye on your questions because obviously if we didn't have any success on the phone side of things, I don't want to open up the phone line. So if you have questions, put them in the chat room and I will do my best to keep an eye out and star them. And then that way, when we get to a Q&A session, we will actually do that. Obviously, the primary reason why we're having him on the show is to talk about this. He's going to be doing some shows, and I'm so excited about it. I can't even. So, and I do have a little video. I'm not going to do it right now. I want him to be on. So that's
all right. Yeah. Well,
you actually see it and get his reaction.
All right.
But yeah, so I do have a question though. You're an iPhone guy?
Yeah, I got the peer pressure in the house kind of forced me over into it.
I have a question, and of course, this is the pre-show. We start the show at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is a mere 4 minutes from right now. So we will stop at 8 o'clock and we'll go right into it. But we kind of let everybody get comfortable and get in and say hello to a bunch of fine folks. We haven't done that part yet. But what I was going to ask, and maybe I'll ask these people too. I have seen, and I don't know if this is like iPhone's marketing or whatever, but I have seen a lot of these weird videos pop up on social where like, especially with the younger audience, there'll be girls that say, oh yeah, if I'm dating or whatever, and if I see it pop up green, I don't even give him any attention. He's got to be blue. So basically iPhone to iPhone, if it comes from an iPhone, it's blue.
Oh.
And if it comes from a Android to an iPhone, the text message is green. And apparently some people are very against Android, that if they see green, like they use iPhone. So if they see green come up on their thing, it's like they automatically think something about that person, which I think is bizarre to me. I don't And I'm beginning to believe that it is a marketing tactic from iPhone.
Right.
It's just like,
Okay.
yeah, I mean, because that makes sense, right? Try to, get it to where like, oh, if you don't have an iPhone, I'm not even bothering talking to you. It's like, okay.
Sure. No,
That makes
you know
sense.
what? That doesn't sound far-fetched to me at
No,
all.
it doesn't. Yeah, I just watched the new Netflix special Web of Make Believe, which talks about how the government spies on you in various ways. There was a guy that was doing a bunch of tax fraud or whatever, and the way that he was caught was the government doing something where they were able to specifically hit his location, which they are not allowed to do, I guess. And I don't know. Anyways, I'm looking forward to tonight. How have you been? We haven't talked all week, which is crazy. We always talk.
You know what I'm doing, man. I'm chasing down promoters. I'm trying to get Revelation off and running and into a city near you. That's all I'm doing daily at this point. I'm trying to figure out, the plan to roll things out. Not to just jump into my thing, but I guess you asked me what I'm doing.
No, I
What I'm
want to
doing.
know. I want to know. Yeah. And how is Revelation going? I mean, what any progress, obviously.
I mean, we're mostly in pre-production mode right now. It's about like, removing half of the show that I had and building a whole, I mean, you saw the set list, it's a completely different affair. So it's like, there's a lot of learning and consideration and so on and so forth. And there's a lot of inner consternation about like what songs are popular, what songs are not. And, well, it's not a top 40 band. It's not it's like we do owe it to the public to go off into some, less featured, tracks by by everybody, not just Prince, but, just like to try to get a real feel for things and not some sort of, you know what? I can only liken it to this. One time, me and Sonny and this dude named Icky James, we went to the Target Center to see Aerosmith, and we had just seen them at the European Music Video Awards for MTV in 1994. And then they went on tour, and that was in Germany. And their dressing room was across from ours, and we had a great time. Aerosmith, a bunch of cool dudes, man, for real.
You're lucky. That they were on my bucket list, but now I guess they said Steven's done.
Yeah.
So that's a shame.
But so we go, we know somebody that works with security, so they get us a spot kind of up front, and the bass player's playing, and he looks down and he's like, "Oh, hey, man, like I know you guys. What's going on?" But what I found incredible about Aerosmith was they're playing like is this Minneapolis, Minnesota, or what? And like you hear they're tuning, the drummer's like hitting stuff. It's like there was no difference in their presentation from a bar room to the Target Center. You know what I mean? Like there was an authenticity. It wasn't so choreographed. It's not theater. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's like you have to leave room for the spirit to dictate. You got to read a room. You got to do a lot of things. I'm stuck between right now, like how much of this is going to be like, an actual thing. And I need space in the show where things can breathe a little bit more. Because I think that's what's missing from a lot of other people playing this music is all they can really do is what's been done on record. And, most people, most of the people we dig, Prince never played the music the same way, the exact same way twice anyway. I mean, you could go on tour and he could do whatever he wanted to do at any given moment, And I think that spontaneity is something that I need to flirt with a little bit more. Like I need an ensemble that's loose enough to sort of be extemporaneous, but also, when it's time to lock it, we're there,
Right.
It's got to be a show. It's got to be something inviting and not something corporate or, or standoffish or, or two together. I know you understand what I'm saying.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, anyways, I totally understand.
So it's like while we're looking at songs, and me and Bobby G pretty much are rebuilding the show together. Bobby Gonzalez played with Jesse, played with Sheila, also played with The Time when Morris put things back together in 91 or whatever that was. So it's me and Bobby are just kind of going back and forth every day. And it's like, he's not from Minneapolis, but he's played with,
Yeah, he's played with everybody.
So it's like, well, shouldn't we play this instead of that? No, I don't think so. He's like, well, I never heard this song. And then, and I'm like, well, you grew up in Sacramento. Some stuff you might not actually know, It's anyway, I love him to death. I can't wait to get on stage with him. I can't wait to get in the same room with Bobby G, because the energy just over, social media and whatnot is like, we're both like, we're like two puppies in a kennel, and somebody just got to open the door and let us get out and do our thing, man.
Yeah, that's gonna be awesome. We can't wait.
So it's it's a process. That's all.
I've been seeing some people saying there's some issues with Facebook, so I did I did, based on a few posts that I saw, I went ahead and disconnected Facebook and reconnected Facebook. So I am sorry if you got disconnected, but hopefully everything is okay. We good on Facebook now. We're good on YouTube. We're good all over.
Somebody say yeah.
Yeah. Somebody say, or we could do Tony Robbins.
Yeah.
Do Tony Robbins. Say I. Say I.
Is that what his shtick now?
That's been his shtick for a while. It's like, you have to take it and just grab it and bring it to you. See, if you hear what I'm saying, say I. And everybody goes,
I. Like A-Y-E?
I guess
like a pirate? I.
All right, let's do this. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, it is an honor to bring a good friend of mine back into the fold again. He is going to be hitting the road, and I'm so excited to have him back on the show. And I can introduce him all day long, because as all of you know, I am a huge fan, and just like all of you are, of the one.
You don't need no introduction at all, though.
He's getting one anyways, ladies and gentlemen. Jesse Johnson. What's up, brother?
Jesse Johnson.
Hey, I can't hear y'all.
You can't hear us?
Not for some reason it's not coming through my earphones.
Oh no.
What
let's see if this is an Android thing.
No. No, it's a Jesse thing.
Oh, okay. So you did hear it. You heard it. So that's good.
I can hear you guys through my phone, but I can't hear y'all through my earphones. I have no idea why.
How you been doing?
I'm good.
I've been hearing that you are prepping for a new set of shows, and I guess a lot of people are asking, is this going to end up being a tour of sorts, or
no,
what's on the plan?
No. I have you guys still?
Yep, still here.
Yes, sir.
No, it's not. I'm not doing it. I'm just doing some shows, trying some things. But when I finished the Yoshi's, I know I've mentioned it before, but I have to come back. When I finish the Yoshi's, I have to stop everything, and I have to finish the new stuff. Have to get it in the can. It has to be in the can, and it's a lot to be done. And there's no camera on, right?
Nope, no camera on.
Oh, cool. Because I just came in from the gym. I just showered. I'm laying in bed. I'm nude. I don't want to be ruining anybody's evening or dinner. Or
you may as well. You're telling everybody. We may as well.
I know, but I don't want to make sure see it. I'm not on camera like that. I won't even aim this thing.
You bad, Jesse? You bad? Yeah.
No, it's just a girl. It's just a person that kind of trained me, if you will. I'm so, what do you call it? Disciplined, more disciplined when she's not around than I am when she's around. But yeah, I'm more disciplined and what I eat, how I blah, blah, blah. And this gym. I hate the gym, by the way. I don't know how people love it. I do it, but I always used to tell her that's her religion. That'll never be my religion.
Do you have a leg day, arm day, or you just kind of go in just whatever you feel?
I used to box and play football and basketball. I kind of rely on all of that. But the number one key to it all is I eat really clean more than anything. The one thing I'm really horrible at, they got to get better at this today, is sleeping. I don't sleep as much as I should, or the way I should. I don't sleep as much as I should.
How many hours of night do you get?
I couldn't tell you, but I know I don't get enough. But because I just, when I have things to do, it'll just ride. They'll just sit on my shoulders, even if I'm trying to sleep. That's why I won't, until I get this project in the can, I can't think. It just whispers to me all the time, both ears. If I go to a movie, that's why I haven't went to a movie. Just doesn't matter it just whispers to me, get this done. This needs to be done. You should be doing this. You should be doing this. So that's what I'm doing. So.
Yeah. Well, I know everybody's waiting for it.
And I put everything into motion. So everything, as soon as I'm done with the last track, everything's already put into motion and solidified and nailed down, where I go right into the studio. I take about a few days off and I go right into the studio and start mixing 40 days straight. Bam, 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 bam. Because it's a lot of music. So I'm really excited about that. I'm more excited about that than anything. I love to play live more than I wouldn't trade that for anything in the world. And when you think of studio and writing, that's like saying, would you rather be impotent or suffer from premature ejaculation? They're both bad. Live is just live is electricity, especially if you got the right band. And I have been trying different things with different people, and it doesn't work, and this and that and that and this. But I'm gonna stop. I'm stopping dead. The Yoshi's shows are the last shows I'm doing, and then even with the new stuff coming out, the new R&B record. If I must say myself, something's decent, because I've had records before, and I could never tell you. I could never say to you, like, there's nothing written anywhere where I'm saying, oh, records are really cool. Da, 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 da. I had things on the record that that I was very proud of, but I've always never really been able to really listen to myself, to be honest. I've never been able to just listen to myself and go, oh, this is so cool, even in private. But now, because even now today, if I put on something like Love Struck, I just go like, how did you get that sound? How do you blah, blah, blah? I listen to Crazy, and that's just out of this world crazy. Like, how did you do that? And where were you? Where was your head? And blah, 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 and all that kind of thing. Because you have at least I don't have any memory of writing anything, or how I came up with it. When I think we were talking about that the last time, Chris.
Yeah.
Everything it's just off the cuff, and I think a guitar player asked me today on IG if I count in my head or something like that. I'm like, I don't do anything. Everything is just, it's like when you breathing. Like right now, you guys are breathing, but we never thought about it. We don't think about, we're breathing air. We just are breathing. It's just that natural for whatever it is I do. I just do it. But at the same time, that's what makes me very proud of the stuff that I've done before, because I don't know anything about keyboards. I don't know anything about anything. And I listen to those records, and they're all me. And I'm like, how did you do that? And it's not, I'm being 100% honest. And I remember somebody said something this last time at Paisley. Some guy said, he looks at his guitar the whole time he's playing. Prince doesn't look at his guitar. I'm like, shut the fuck. Anyway, but the thing is that when you see me looking at my guitar, from day one, from 81 with the time all the way till today, I've always suffered. And I mean, insufferable. I suffer really bad from stage fright. And the closer people are to me, the more fucked up I am, the more out of my head. I can't, you don't even understand. It's like, I understand why people do drugs and drink and everything else to overcome all that. But I swear to God, I do it raw. I've always done it raw and straight. And I'm telling you that, that I've never gotten past that. So that's one of the things that Yoshi's is just going. I'm trying to unterrify myself, because people are very close to you at Yoshi's, and I'm going to play things that I've never played before. Like I'm going to play at Yoshi's. I'm going to play doing a Hear My Train Come, and a Hendrix song. I'm doing that. I'm doing a Red House. I've never done these this way, and I'm also gonna I'm gonna do them to death. I'm gonna do them like I mean them, but I at the same time incorporate them into the already flowing of things that are flowing, because you start off, you play for people, you play for people, then in the end you know you end up playing for yourself, because now this, not now, but many years ago until now, this is your high. This is what other people got to, when people get high or drink or drop something, I get it to try to escape this shit. I get it all the time, but I'm telling you, I do it Rob, but my high comes from I don't want to sound corny or say it comes from the music, because it doesn't come from the music. It comes from the people too. It comes from the people too, because people can either they can either lift you, because their energy, their spirit, their aura, they can lift you or lower you. And so when you go on stage, stage is just live is just what it is. It's like you have no control really, because it's like right now, 1 2 3 go. You can't go, oh, let me punch this. Oh, it's crazy. But yeah, so I've always suffered from stage fright. If you see me looking at my guitar, shit, I know how to play. It's because I'm not trying to look at you.
Well, and Steve 858 made a really good point that Jimi Hendrix looked at his guitar all the time too.
And before that, he mentioned something about, he said Prince always looked at his guitar when he was changing positions.
Well, it's a different thing, and I think some of the shit I play is a lot more complicated than what other people played. And
I
I know
agree.
that shit.
Right.
I know that
Yes.
shit for a fact, because I don't have 2 guitar players. I don't have 3 guitar players. It's one cat playing that
Yes,
shit and
sir.
singing at the shit at the same time. And my
Yes,
stuff
sir.
purposely, and I'm can be really silly like that, where I'll write something so complicated that I have to go back and learn all that stuff. Like I'm learning it like a cover band. And Michael will tell you anyway, he's got to do that shit all the time too, because when
Yes.
you're making records, that shit's it's not like people think it is it, Mike? It's you don't rehearse it like that. A lot of the stuff you do, it's off the cuff right then and there,
Yeah.
and you
It's
keep it. And so
right.
when you gotta now go perform it on a show or live, you have to go learn all that stuff.
Yes, sir. I agree 100%.
Yep, absolutely. Oh, and just to really quickly, again, the shows that Jesse is referring to is August 28th and August 29th. He's doing a total of 3 shows over those 2 days at Yoshi's. And if you want to get tickets, go to funkatopia.com/Oakland. Again, that's funkatopia.com/Oakland. I went ahead and created a shortcut link there because that's easier to remember than the long Yoshi's one. And you'll be able to you'll be taken right directly to the ticket page, and you'll be able to snag whatever tickets are left, if there's any tickets
And I'm
left.
stretching the shows differently, because Yoshi's, a lot of these new places like Yoshi's, I think the wineries, city wineries, those places have, it's hard to do a headlining show there. I mean, you got a lot of albums, and you got a bit of a bit of amount of songs that people want to hear. The time constraints of those places, they don't suffice, because you can't fit that shit into 75 minutes. You can't fit it into 75 minutes. And so what I'm doing on 28th, I'm doing a 90-minute show. I'm like, let me do 90 minutes, because who else is playing? No one. So I'm gonna do 90 minutes, and then Friday, the 29th, I'm doing a 75-minute the first and a 90-minute the last, because it's just like not enough time, not enough time. You can't even say hi to everyone, it's like, when we all get together, people that come see me, when we get together in a room, we haven't seen each other for 1,000 years. And so it's like, it's fine. And it makes it even more intimate when you go, hey, how you doing? How you doing? From the stage in the middle of songs, and talk about something stupid for half a second, if you don't get to do that, it's just not the same. But I got to tell
Yeah.
you, when I was at I played this last Paisley thing, that did it for me. I don't ever want to go there again, because that shit was so depressing for me, because I'd been there, I think in 2019, but I was there, and when I was there in 2019, I was kind of shell shocked. Everything was still somewhat fresh, and then the lady that ran it, Michael, you remember, Karen,
Uh,
my Karen White, the lady that ran Paisley. Did you never know her?
yes, I knew. Karen, wait a minute.
She was a sweetheart. But anyway, she was
Maybe okay.
there, and she just knew a lot of things. She knew a lot of things about Prince and I and our relationship. And she just said, he really cared for you a lot. She just did a lot of things to kind of, I don't, to make the landing softer, if that's any way to put it. But it was just, but then you made it through that. And I left there. When I left there, I felt good when I left there, but I didn't feel good Because people, it's weird how people in real life, people that cheer you to death, they'll cheer you, they'll tell you, they'll yell, they love you and this and that, and then you leave there and then those same people will go online and talk shit about you. It's just really sad. It's really no, really
Yeah,
truly,
It's true.
honestly, it's a
It's true.
sad state where
you're
we
right.
are
You're right.
as a society, because
Uh,
people feel the need to even do anything like that. If you're not into somebody, don't bring your punk ass over. Don't even
I'm him.
come to the show.
That's
Go do
right.
something else, man. Because I
Yeah.
wouldn't. I Who takes time out of their day to go shit on somebody? I mean, I don't do that shit online. I don't do it anywhere. And usually when I am rah rah on somebody, or get the get the fuck away from me, it's because they've said something to me or disrespected me in a way, shape, or form, and all that stuff. And the thing is that with this time, I'm not. It's nothing bad about anything. It's just when I was there, the last time I was in that building, and Prince Morris and myself was there together, was, I think we were making that movie. The movie. What was the movie?
Graffiti
Graffiti.
Bridge.
Right. So this
Wow.
time I was there, and Morris was there, and I'm telling you, it just really took me to, like, it really just, I didn't think it would hit me like that, but it took me where I just went into a kind of a nosedive when I was there. When I went into a nosedive.
Mm.
I left there, and when I left there, I really did go into, like, I was really depressed after that, seriously, because it was like, it just hit me that, Morris and I are cool, love Morris and all that, but I don't ever see Morris. And so here we were in this place that something the last time the three of us was in this place together, and I hadn't heard the Time songs in a lot of years, and I heard the Time songs. I was in my dressing room after I performed, and Morris was performing, and I thought I would be like da da da. But when I was hearing those songs, I just went deeper and deeper, deeper in the hole. Is because I just can't explain it, but it's just like it's like if you have it happens to parents all the time. It happens to us all the time. Our our child, we look at our child, like my youngest baby is like 21, and Sadie's 21. And so there's a show I can't watch because it'll make me so sad that I'll start crying. And it's SpongeBob, because I used to watch that with her every day when she was little. I used to watch that every day with her when she was little. And
Yeah.
so it's not that you're sad because you don't watch that with her. It's just that you just remember a time where there was something pure about it. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so being at Paisley, it just took me back to like 81,
Mm.
when it was just Prince, Morris, myself. We used to the three of us used to just hang out like hard, like heavy, like, and make records and jam, and it just shook me. It just shook me that those days will never um, for me, those days will never exist again. It's just like I'm being honored in some states and some cities that I grew up in. They're erecting a statue. Is that the right word to say? Erection? No, I'm saying they're erecting a statue and thing and honoring me and this and that and honoring me next year. One of the things.
Really?
And I was talking to somebody today, and he said, "Man, that's a big deal." And I said, "Yeah, yeah, yeah." And he said, "No, you should be really happy about that." I said, I am." But the sad thing is that the people you would that would be so proud of you. My father's gone. It's like there's the musicians that I worked with and came up with, they're gone.
Yeah.
And so it's like it's hard it's hard for somebody to understand it. And the person said, "Oh, just bring your kids." I'm like, "Oh, my kids will be there." But it's not that's not what I'm talking. It's a different kind of a thing. It's a different kind of a love. It's a different kind of admiration. There's people in your life coming up that you need them. When they're proud of you, it makes the sun shinier, it makes the grass greener. And when and I don't care who you are, I don't care how much money we make, I don't care how much fame you get. When you don't have that in your life, man. I know, for me personally, I suffer from it because look at my life. I'm surrounded by thousands of people sometimes, a lot of times. I've been all over the world so many times I can't remember. And I'm probably the loneliest person you'll ever talk to, because it's not about, with me, it's never been about things, but it's always been about love and friendship and togetherness. And for me, it's always going to be that. It's never, you know, I remember my really dear friend of mine is very successful at what he does and so forth and so on. He signed me to A&M, but John McClane used to say, that starving artist shit is getting old. And I'm like, and no, I would say to him, I'm not starving. I'm fine. I just don't need what you need. I don't need 40 houses, a giant. I don't need any of that. It's just like you know, you're not taking any of that with you when you go. My whole thing has always been what it's always going to be. And that is, I do what I do, but I'm always going to be true to the game first. I never think of the game. Oh, I want to do this. I want to build this. I want to da 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 da. I never needed a building. Um, I just wanted to, you know, I'm kind of a hippie. So I always wanted to be record where I laid my head and slept. I want to roll out of bed and record. I don't want to drive. Anybody that, even when I was talking to my friends from Iowa and they were like, yeah, you never like driving. And I'm like, yeah. And I've had the dopest cars and I can't stand driving. I don't know I always wonder if past lives I'm, you know, are real, because the things that I don't like, I bet you in a past life I had to be a New Yorker or something, because I can't stand driving. And
You know
all
what
that
though?
stuff.
I'm sorry. I don't mean to interrupt, Jesse, but what I found is
You are fucking
almost.
interrupting. What is wrong with you? No, go right ahead.
I'm sorry, sir.
No,
I
go right
just
ahead.
wanted to comment and say that uh, almost all the best musicians I know, none of them drive. None of them want to. Like I don't know. I don't know what it is. I mean, and I guess I mean.
No, Morris. Are you kidding me, Morris? Morris know everything there is to know about a car.
Yeah.
He's like, Morris is like that to this day. Morris absolutely
Okay.
loves cars.
Maybe it's just me then.
Yeah.
Maybe it's
Yeah.
just my circle.
Jerry
Friends
Huff.
like cars, but
Well, yeah.
I've never, I don't know. I just never, it never was never my thing. I just think for myself, sometimes one time I made this thing. I said, before I turn 30, I want to make $1 million and have a Rolls Royce and da da da. And I did. And then when I bought the Rolls Royce and this and that and that and this and made $1 million and more, then I just got rid of the car because it was just a car. But it was never, I believe I don't know. I just think there's danger. I think it's dangerous to any, I think it's dangerous for anyone to define themselves by something other than who you are as an individual, buck naked, who the fuck you are. Because I think if you define yourself by things, man, I see people diving off of buildings and jumping out of things because they lost their money or their job or whatever, and they kill themselves. I just think it's dangerous. That's why I admire a lot of the thespians, the actors that reach a certain point, and then they get the fuck out of Hollywood. They don't want to raise their kids here. They don't want to get caught up into that, because so many beautiful people that were so gorgeous and so beautiful, and then they got caught up in that bullshit out here, and fucked up their faces and shit with plastic surgery. And it's just like,
Awful.
and I mean some of these men and women were absolutely really gorgeous, 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 gorgeous people. And it's like, how did you buy into this thing that you can't get a line on your face? I'd rather have line on my face than to look like something out of a circus or some bullshit. I don't care anything about that. I would never care if she's of a certain age, I'm of a certain age, and especially somebody you age together, you grow old together. That's the whole thing. That to me is the whole beautiful thing about life. Your kids are going to grow up. They're going to be taller than you now and blah, blah, blah. And I do have my daughters are taller than me. So, but with all that said and done, it's like, I just think it's very, very dangerous. And I apologize to any and everyone listening to me right now. If I'm getting too heavy, I apologize. I'm not trying to bring anybody down, but it's just that we're living in such lack of a better term, shitty time. I'm people losing jobs. Just what this administration is doing, it's just horrible. And some of us are put here, and we can't blank it out with. I'm one of those people that can't blank out the suffering of others. I cannot blank it out. I'm like the word. You would never want to go to India with me, because I want to adopt every child. I go down to me and my daughter go downtown, and I put certain money in pot, and she's worse than me. And she was like at that time probably like 12 or 13, and she would go up and give money to people that were homeless. She just has that kind of heart too. But it's just like it's hard. It's really tough for me. And there's been times, honest to God, there's been times where I don't touch my. I could have been done with everything I'm doing, but there's times I don't touch it for 6 months because I don't want that energy and sorrow and morose energy on the music that I'm doing. That's why it took me a long time to play my music from before, because I struggled through all of that. You guys just don't know, man. Y'all can look at it now and play the records and celebrate it, but I wish you could go back and look at all the shit that I have, which is all the reviews. For everything that came out, it was like, oh, he sucks. Oh, he was, even the huge magazines, they were like, oh, he's seems like he's got talent, but he missed this time. He missed it this time around because the album's underproduced and everything that my instincts, my built-in born instincts, my gut level told me, go this way with it. Don't go that way. Go this way. And I went the way opposite of what everybody was doing, and it worked. It actually worked. It was successful. The record was successful. The records were successful, and I've just been very, very, very fortunate in life for it to always, they always say, what does they say? God watches out for children and idiots. So somewhere I fall, somewhere I fall in there somewhere, because I'm just like, no, really, honestly, I'm just like, I think the universe knows, even when you're screwing up, I think the universe knows what's in your heart and your soul, and the universe knows pure people. But I look at it like a person that's blind, like that could see and now they're blind, because I believe to to be given a talent. Like I truly honestly believe that I was really touched by the gods and given a talent, because I have no idea where it came from, and anything I picked up to do, um, it it just, I do it. And my biggest gift to I don't want to say the world, but to people that dig what I do, is my ability to write songs, and not just write songs, but interject something into those songs that people that dig them can feel it. They can feel it. That's why I'm telling you. I mean, Chris, I've let you hear a thing or two. I'm on to something, right, Chris?
That's one of the things I wanted to ask you about
It's
too.
insane. It's insane. No,
Unbelievable.
no, Chris, listen to me. Just so you know, it's not you. I listen to this stuff in the middle of the night when I'm at my loneliest. I might be sad, I might be blue, I might be whatever, but I'll listen to it, and I'm gonna tell you, it scares me.
Yeah.
And I won't tell you why it scares me, but it scares me. It literally scares me that I turn it off and I go like, because I always watch people. A lot of times, people will get to a certain, they'll soar, and when you start to soar, the best things you've ever done. It's just like Jeff Beck. Jeff Beck's been around forever, but Jeff Beck's playing latter part of his, you couldn't put, it was just unbelievable. Same thing with Jimmy, unbelievable. It was, you just couldn't. Things happen, so it scares me. It scares me, the stuff that I'm writing, and um, the things that I'm writing, the things that I'm saying, and I've never felt a record. I've never felt music like this music that I'm feeling right now, and I don't know why. I don't know. I think because I grew as a person. I think I love deeper as a person, and I experienced love in the last few years that I've never thought I was capable of feeling that way about anybody or anything. And I'm telling you, it's gonna be magic. It really is going to be magic. All I want is to be done with it, because it's so much work. But
Well, I know.
it's so much work because I'm not a perfection. I'm I'm about perfection with an imperfection. So you're going to hear the
Mhm.
guitar do this and go, oh, that's a mistake. Because all of that's missing from music now. Everything is so perfect because of, digital Pro Tools. People can go in and correct every note. And I can't listen to records like that, because I need to, we grew up listening to records where you go, man, oh, Diamond, when he came back in on that drum beat, he forgot what he was playing and this and that, and it was, and that's what made it so incredible though. and you look back at everything. There were so many things that I didn't put a lot of. Like I listen to the Earth, Wind, and Fire record now, and it's like, wow, the amount of magic, the amount of work, the amount of Maurice knew what he was doing, and you don't think of it until you get to a certain point, and it's my records like that. Michael, you'll love it because it's 99% all live drums.
Oh, cool.
And
I mean,
live
I don't
bass
mind it, but I'll dig it.
and
Yeah.
live bass. No, no, no. I can't do drum machines. I can't do it. I can't. I
Is it?
can't.
It's over. Okay. All right.
I can't. I really can't mess with it like that. Even the R&B thing, I went more for almost 70s, mid to late 70s kind of snare and kicks
Okay.
and hi-hat. But I can't. A drum machine. I can't. It's not for me. I'm not, just like you guys were talking earlier about iPhone and Droid. And the deal is that one or the other, it doesn't really matter. The only thing about an iPhone that I can speak on is that if you live in an Apple ecosystem, you got a Mac, you got you got an iPad, you got Apple TVs, you blah blah blah, you got iPhone. They all talk to each other with no issues, right? And then I also do know for a fact that Apple's security testing is way more stringent than Google. That's why when you go to buy a product for Apple Home that will work with Apple Home, there are not that many. They're scarce, and there's not that many. Just only a few things work with Apple Home. But if you got a Droid and you got
Everything.
Google, you can go find 9 million because they're the security things. As a matter of fact, what year was it? 2023, I think. Yeah, 23 or 22, the government made Amazon stop selling these cameras. You know those cameras that used to that you could screw them into a light socket,
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
and then they film and they move all around. But
Mhm.
there was a lot of cameras doing it, but the government ordered um, Amazon to stop selling it because they were streaming when they film all in your stuff. They're streaming that shit to another country.
I didn't
Wow.
hear that.
Yeah, no, it is. It is. Where do
Oh,
you
I
think
bet. I
where do you
bet.
think it's streaming to? That's why I stay away from anything that has they'll have you put your camera anywhere near your premises, anything, but it streams to their service. And I'm like, nah, nah. And the thing that with the deal with Apple Home got high def cameras, this and that and that and this, and doorbells and so forth, but it streams to your own private iCloud
Mm.
as opposed to somebody else's stuff, because you know the class action lawsuit with what's that company they're everywhere, ring, it was the employees that were taking those folks films home.
There
Well,
were the films that they were storing online.
Yeah, but they were storing them on Ring's system, and so it was they caught the employees taking those the footage home,
Oh my
dipping into
gosh.
people's private footage. So I don't trust any of that. And this my lawyer was saying she had to get a password for my ASCAP or something. She goes, "Yup, your passwords are hard." I'm like, "Yeah, if they can." I'm like, who we think we fooling? If they can if a 16-year-old kid can break in the Pentagon, come on.
Yeah, exactly.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, we've had you and I have had some conspiracy theory talk on phone before. I've pretty much said that I thought that COVID was a hoax right out of the gate, just because I felt like they wanted everybody to have to work from home so they could get everybody on camera and be able to do all the facial recognition, to be able to increase all the facial recognition for all the people that weren't normally on camera. And
I'll
COVID kind of pushed everybody into that arena.
I'll do you one better. I'll do you one a
Uh-oh.
little bit better.
Okay.
When you have the people that put the money to create the Moderna, because people don't realize, but Moderna had this shot go. They had a shot similar to this since 2015. This not a conspiracy. That you can go look that up. Moderna's had this shot and this vaccine. So if you got Bill Gates and everybody talking about, what are they talking about openly? They're not even hiding it. They're not underneath a table. They're not writing it on a piece of paper and passing it. They're saying it all out in the open. And all they're talking about the world over is depopulation. We live in a very advanced scientific time as far as meds and all medicine and all that stuff go vaccines. And if they can make a vaccine that come on, if they can take if you're gonna have you and your wife are gonna work on having a baby, if they can tell you what color the eyes what color eyes do you want your baby to have, what color hair do you, if they can design your baby, do you not think that they can't design a vaccine that kills a certain people? Now, listen to what I'm saying. Hear what I'm saying. Hear me out before y'all say I'm crazy. Say I'm crazy when the show's over. But if you look at the CDC, that's why they're tearing down all the CDC stuff. If you look at the CDC thing that came out, I think last year, the year before, they show you around the entire world the populations and the particular people that it killed. Where did it kill? All the world over. Who died the most? Latino men, like the number one number, Latino men. Then it goes, the next number is uh, black men. And that number was nowhere near as high as Latino men. It was lower, but then it also showed black women was really, really low. And then Caucasian women, it was very, very low, and it didn't hardly kill any Asian women. So if you think that they can't design something to take your ass out specifically, you're living in a bubble that you really need to get out of, because all they're talking about, and they're still talking about it openly. I mean, Bill Gates is doing a speech. I think it's a TED talk almost, and he's going about, the population is this is in 7 billion. If we can reduce with the vaccines now, we can reduce the population. And it's like, what the fuck are you saying? He's saying it out in the open. It's not hitting, and it's not AI. It's like he's always. There's even forget it, with the Freedom of Information Act, people can go see this shit. That's how I've seen it with the. You can request this and that and that and this, but I do all that kind of stuff quietly because I always like to I kind of always want people to think I'm not stupid, but stupid. And because I don't talk about a lot of things, but I know things because I do a lot of due diligence about things. Just like when people's going, oh, you know, they're against gay marriage. They're not against gay marriage. It's nothing to do with gay marriage. It's just the two men don't make a baby. And the white population, for almost every time a Caucasian baby boy is born, a Caucasian man dies. And I've been knowing that since going back to when I did all the research for the verbal penetration record. So I wouldn't be talking on my ass, and I knew exactly what I was talking about. But that's what that whole church thing is about. It's not about religion. It's not about, but look at it this way. Homosexuality didn't go in the Bible until when? 1946? Get the fuck. Anyway, it's reduced because two men, I don't care how much money and how successful and how wealthy they are, they're not going to produce a baby. Why do you think they're trying to make all these, do away with abortions and stuff? Because look at the family. All you got to do is look around. Like, I think, Chris, at least I came up in a generation where black families had a lot of kids. They had a lot of kids. White Irish families had a lot of kids. A lot of my friends, they had a lot. Look at it now. Black families got maybe one, maybe two children. One, maybe two. Same thing with Caucasian families. One, maybe two. And now the only families that are having big babies are Latin families because they're Catholic and so forth and so on. And that isn't even about the babies. It's about what you guys forget. Do y'all remember when the second Bush term, went out here when they were trying to do what they're doing now with ICE and all that shit? Y'all remember that, or yes or no?
Yeah.
Okay, I was living here. I'm telling you, they had a march downtown. It was 500,000 people, not 500, 500, not 5,000, 500,000 people marched down downtown LA. And if you saw that crowd, it was Dominicans, it was this, it was Jamaicans, it was Belize, it was everything you can think of, because people always just think it's Mexicans. No, no, no. That was the Bush administration. They were saying, even though if your father came here, your mother and father came here 30 years ago, you were born here, but because they came here illegally, blah 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 blah, you had to leave too. That's the Bush administration. That was way before all this Trump shit. They were doing that then. And so guess what that was about? Do y'all know what that was about? That the Latinos the hold the biggest voting power in this bitch. That's who put Obama in the White House. and the reason why it put Obama in the White House because there was a lot of Latinos that figured, I'm white. Okay, keep on thinking that shit. And they found out, as Paul Mooney calls it, they got their N-word wake up call. And when you get that, you come to a realization these people really don't like us. They don't like me. Da, 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 da. That was a voting. That's voting power. What are they doing right now? They're trying to take off. They're trying to get them off the voting rolls, right? Yes or no?
Yes, they are. They're still
Exactly,
trying to.
because
Yep.
that is their number one voting power in this joint. And that's not a lie. That's fact. That shit is fact. I don't just talk out of my ass or regurgitate something somebody else said. I do diligence. You'd be surprised what American people would be surprised what they have access to, the information that they have access to. I used to call the White House. I actually played there too before, but I used to call the White House and go, "Can I speak to?" Yeah, you can actually do that, and you can get in with the freedom of information. You can. Anyway, I know I got way off on something else, but I'm just telling y'all, it's hard to living here in California and seeing them destroying like hardworking people, upstanding people, hardworking people, and they're attacking them like they're doing. I'm telling you, man, the Gaza Strip is fucked up, and what's happening to the Palestinians is horrible. And I'm telling you, what I'm watching out here, and that's why I'm telling you, black folks are going to be next because it's happening to us a lot. Ever since it was a reason that whole immunity thing where you can't sue cops and all that bullshit that Trump brought in. There's a reason for that. There's us is all little part of a game plan, but I'm telling you, black folks better get ready because it's happening already. It's already happening. We see it every day. We see a clip every day. Somebody's just civil liberties just thrown on the ground, and then the black sheriff, the head guy goes, "Yeah, it looks rough, but it wasn't." And it was like, "You punk." Anyway, it's we're living in some sad ass times. It's some sad ass fucking times, and they're not even sad for me. They're sad for my kids. Got to grow up in this shit.
Well, I got a question. I mean, you have gone down a rabbit hole. That's for damn sure.
No, it's not. There's always a bottom. There's a bottom.
That's my fault. And that's my fault. That's my fault. I started it. But I do have a question. Are you addressing some of this in some of the new music? Or touching on it?
I actually, the reason why I don't do that, like a reason why I'm not on a record saying Trump and this and that, because I want to create something like, well, can music change the world? I don't know that. I don't know that, but can it make your day better? Yes. And so we live this shit every day. So why I don't want to sing that on a record or be reminding somebody of that bullshit. I want to take myself away. I want to create some kind of fantasy or what some fantasy thing for me to escape to myself. I mean, like,
Fair enough.
instead of drugs or alcohol, do this. It's cleaner, it's safer, and you can fall asleep with it in your ears. So, no, I don't tend to write that because I don't really like pushing that on people unless somebody approaches me about a project a peace project to write some protest songs. That would be different. I've never done that, but I would definitely give that a try for a worthy cause and free of charge. But as far as my own thing, trying to and I don't like things that date records, if that makes any sense.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I kind of feel that's happened a few times with Prince, because he was immediately who I thought of, and there's a reason why I thought of him was because when he was doing the anti-war stuff.
I know, but I don't know him like that. I don't know his records like that. When did I leave? What year did I leave? 84.
Yeah, because 80.
So
Because you came out in 85.
known.
So yeah.
I've never, in all honesty, I've never known anything. I knew one song that I thought was that I picked up the phone and called him years later and was like, "That song is absolutely perfection. It's brilliant. It's perfection." It was nice to hear him do a song like that because it had all them tempo changes and all that shit, like what Queen. Queen is like one of the groups that they do it differently than Yes, because Yes, they would have vocals too, but Queen would do it in a way where they just would stop something really cool and then put this break in there and these vocal things, and then it would somehow end up coming back around to Diamonds and Pearls. Was unfucking
Oh,
believable.
Oh,
okay,
Was
that's
the
what he's talking about.
yeah,
was
that's the one in there.
unfucking believable. I mean, Michael Bland was everybody on that shit was brilliant. But I'm gonna tell y'all something though. Sonny Thompson years ago was in my band, right? Right?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
So Sonny used to play that long, long time ago. He used to do this in rehearsal. This was I don't even remember what year he was in my band. It was because he's in the Crazy video. Did you know that, Mike?
Yeah, I noticed him back on the keyboards behind
Yeah,
Sly. Yeah.
yeah, but he in rehearsals way back then, he used to do this in rehearsals. I'm not lying, I'm not making this shit up. That's why I was shocked that he wasn't a writer on the song. He used to go do 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 bloom 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 bloom. He used to play all those chords and shit. Same part that's on that song. That's why I thought he was a writer on that song. He used to play that in rehearsal all the time.
No, yeah. Well, we definitely helped out with the arrangement. So your ears are telling
No,
your ears are telling you the
but
truth.
that
Yeah.
part did Sonny play come up with
Yeah.
that? Yeah, he used
Uh,
to play that. He used to go blender doo doo bloom and play these chords on
I
bass.
know what you're talking
Doo-doo-doo.
about because I've heard Sonny do what you're talking about.
Yeah,
It was kind of Prince's idea, and then Sonny kind of took it, and they agreed at some point on it. Is what I
but he's
remember.
not a writer.
I don't think any of us got writers on that.
Oh no, I'm just kidding. I'm gonna tell mama.
And Barbarella came up with the thing that comes do 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 do, tying all of that
Yeah,
together.
that shit is bad. I love that y'all went through all them changes and tempo breaks and all that shit, and then it comes,
Right
man. You
on.
know, because only band that had to me, in my opinion, that did that better than anybody was Queen.
Oh wow. Well,
Because Queen shit was like an opera. And when I
I
heard Diamonds
agree.
and Pearls the first time, that shit was so beautiful to me.
Wow, man.
And
I'm gonna
that
cry,
girl
Jesse. Don't make me cry
and that girl who I think that girl
Rosie,
was
yes. Uh-huh.
Rosie.
my girlfriend in Graffiti Bridge or something. That's how I know who she is. But she tore the floor out that shit.
Yeah.
Oh my
Mhm.
God, what the she took that back to, like I always take y'all back to payphones, don't I? Y'all ain't on no camera. You have to be on a. I always take y'all ass back to what year where it was just phones.
Payphones.
I take y'all ass back to payphones. He ain't on camera. Fuck that. Pay me. I'll be on. No, I'm just joking. But I take me back
It was
to payphones.
91. I mean, I think they
No,
still
no,
had
no. You know what?
payphones.
You know what it is. Honestly,
What's
it's
that?
like people focus so fucking much on visuals now
Uh,
that they can't concentrate on something or digest it if they're not looking at it. And it shouldn't be that way because your brain doesn't work that way. Your brain has an inner voice that if you close your eyes and put blinders on and listen to something, your brain, you'll retain it better. It'll increase your memory. What's that part of your brain that it keeps getting smaller and smaller because we use GPS instead of remembering where to go?
is that it's
Uh,
not the hippocampus, is it?
Yes,
That's what I was gonna say.
exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
Thank you.
It's getting smaller because we're not using our memory. And luckily, I used to always say this to jazz musicians. I was like, fuck y'all. Y'all can't even remember a song. Y'all
Yeah.
got sheet music and shit. We remembering 42. I'm remembering 3 shows. I'm remembering
Yes,
a
sir.
Time show,
Mhm.
D'Angelo show,
Yes,
my
sir.
show, and they ain't
Yeah,
got a lick of paper nowhere.
that's
Kiss my,
right.
we way better now. I used to always say all that shit to jazz musicians. I really did, because they always are so much bougie. They're
I
so
got you,
bougie,
Jesse. Yeah, all that stunting and profiling and posturing. I got it.
Yeah, but man, Diamonds and Pearls that was just phenomenal to
That's
me.
that really that warms my heart, man. I
That is such a phenomenal fucking song, man.
thank
Just
you for your words.
everything
Yeah.
about it, the vocal, the arrangement, and he sings that shit really like do 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 do. But I don't know how. Yeah, that shit was awesome. It was just so beautiful. It was such a beautiful song, and it was nothing. Hasn't been anything on the radio like it. Was nothing on the radio like it then. And I love it when people walk out on walk out on that ledge. When you walk out on that plank,
Yeah. Mhm.
you gotta, and that's why someone was asking me about something, and I said no, the music I'm doing, it's not for radio. Even though there's a company that's, when the campaign is over for pre-orders, then a company's going to take it and I think make vinyl and this and take it to radio and all that, but it's I don't have that in my head. I don't have to deal with any of that for the first time in my life making a record. I don't have to deal with any of that because even when I was doing verbal, there was labels that wanted it on the label. They wanted it on their label, and they were real labels. They wanted verbal penetration, but I just don't think I could. I don't think I could have did a record like that. Because even Suge and Dr. Dre wanted they wanted "Bare My Neck Is Soul,"
Oh yeah.
but they wanted to put synthesizers and stuff on it too, and I
Right.
absolutely but just that was a hard one because Dr. Dre is genius on it. I just his chronic records, the instrumentals. If you want to hear how brilliant
Mhm.
his shit is, listen to the instrumentals and how he'll have a reverb just opening it. Just brilliant mixer, just a brilliant music producer. But it's just like everything you gotta. It's weird, man, to keep making great music because you almost gotta stay where you were at the beginning of your career mentally. It's
It's
like
not
y'all
possible.
notice that people get really really
Mm.
rich and then their music changes, and I don't mean for the better, but I mean just it
Mhm.
changes it because you start worshiping something else now, and before you were just doing it for the love of the music. So my ass tries to keep my brain where I'm doing it for the love of music. It's hard to be in a relationship. It's hard to have a girlfriend. It's hard to do a lot of shit when you're just doing it for the love because you
Mhm.
sacrifice a lot. You have to sidestep and give up a lot to but it's all for the music, man. It's really so that you can stay too because the scariest thing for me is to not be able to write a good song anymore.
Well, it sounds
Yeah.
like you're in a mode where it's coming out of you pretty freely right now. I mean,
Mm,
how much? What's the quantity? A lot of people have been waiting for this album, but there's a few things going on with this. I mean, you talked about an R&B album, but there's also isn't there going to be another one? Also, is going to be like multiple releases, or what was
I don't know.
the
I
plan?
don't.
What was the
I just
plan?
know Universal pulled some bullshit where they heard me say that and they released a 3 album thing. It was really
Yeah,
and they pulled that bullshit, which was fucked up. And they put every remix I had on there. It was all my 3 A&M albums, I think, and they put all that shit on there, and they just did some fucked up shit, and I'm
Mhm.
fighting with them and all kind of legal craziness and court and shit now, lawsuits,
I
this,
mean,
that,
do you
the other.
feel like that? But do you feel like that maybe in a way, from a different viewpoint, that it may actually kind of help you to kind of repackage your album so that people
What
will gain a little bit
what do you
more
mean help? What would
that
help me?
that the releasing that collection of 3 albums would kind of
I don't
reignite
even.
interest in what you're
No,
doing.
no, 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 no. I'm not even thinking about it like that. I'm thinking about something way more sadder than that. I'm thinking about what if I fucking die? Then I want to give you one album. I want to give you I want to give you a fucking
Yeah.
cathedral of music. I mean, like shit that you just go, oh my God, and not have it where, if we could go into the stuff he started, that's always scares me and I'm not saying I'm nothing. I'm so fortunate that I'm healthy as can be. I don't I'm not on anything. I take occasionally an aspirin, and that's an aspirin from Germany that isn't like that bullshit that's here with caffeine and hard coding and all that bullshit. It's like you have to go back to some other country to find the aspirin that used to exist when I was like 5 years old. But no, no, no. I don't. I'm fortunate. I'm really fortunate. I'm very, very healthy. My family's healthy. I'm blah 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 blah. I'm just like I never got into drugs and alcohol. I will because I'm the cheapest date ever. You give me a shot of red wine and especially not eating or whatever all day, I'm done. I'm
Fair.
like really the fucking crackhead if you were but if I went and drank a shot of wine right now, you're like, I think he's drinking a fifth of Jack over there. He's out of his mind. No, I'm just like I just never drank and then I try to do it older that just doesn't work. But I've sure been tempted when I'm going on stage, but then I'm so scared that I would not be even just a sip, don't have a gallbladder. So even just a sip of wine can send me like I drank a bunch and I didn't. And I won't remember. So yeah, I'm not, not for me. And then I don't understand how anybody can be an alcoholic, because people go, this is a 50-year-old, 20, this is 100. It all is disgustingly nasty to me. I don't know how anybody can drink and like it. Ew. Anyway, but no, oive. But
that's why you're in good shape because
but no,
all those vices mean nothing to you. That's good.
No, and it wasn't because I was so anti-drugs or anti-alcohol. It was because I was just really, really honestly cheap. I'm like, how can you spend that? Like I was with somebody one time, a friend of mine in New Orleans, and he had $1,000 bottle of wine, and I'm like, it's just gonna turn to pee, right? I just can't do that and not have something to show for it. Like I remember being around rock star friends, and they talk about, putting $10 million in their arm and stuff like that. I just can't comprehend that. I would chop my arm off and try to get it back. But the point is, I just want to create. I just think that I'm gonna I just want to. This music is like, it's not a joke. It's really not a joke, and I think that because we grown folks now, I want to create something that that you can ride to. I don't. It's not a money grab. I'm not trying to do a money grab. I want to do something where you go like, this was the best money I spent ever, and that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to be true to the game, and when you're true to the game, you don't think about anything else. But one thing I can promise you guys, though, it will be done. It will be done by the end of this year. I promise you that now that I've shored up some things and tied up some things and put some things in place. It's gonna be done for real now. I'm so because everybody keeps thinking, you guys are thinking I'm working on it, but I'm not. I don't touch it for months. I don't. Sometimes I just walk away from it for 5 or 6 months. I did that last year. It's just because because I'm going through stuff, and if I'm going through something, I don't want that. I don't want that vibe and that energy on that music. I don't, because the music will hold that energy. It'll hold it.
Yeah. So for those who don't know, can you reshare the musicians that are on this new material?
Nope. I'm not resharing shit. I ain't telling anybody nothing, because I don't know who's on this, that, and the other. Because when I get into that final stage where, like Mike knows, where you say the record is done, it's like a cake, and then the cake is really beautiful. Then they might put frosting on it. Then it has to be you might bring in somebody to decorate it.
Oh, so you're Steely Dan in this album?
No, not at all. Nobody's on this record. I'm just telling you, everything on this record, everything on these recordings right now is all me, 100% me. I'm just saying that when it gets right before it gets, you might be mixing, you might everything EQ'd and go, I would like to hear, I wonder what this would sound like if I have a violinist come in and do this. If I have a person comes in and plays cello and do that. You don't know until you know. It's like, it's not, as I was saying earlier, I don't plan anything. I don't have it written out in the note. I'm going to add bongos right here. It just happens, when you start mixing and EQing and gating and the way I record the records, the way I record, like that thing you heard, Chris, there's no EQs or reverbs or nothing on it. I record the way I've always recorded. I record flat.
Yeah.
I don't because there's physics that happen when you put a microphone on paper and all that shit. It just natural air and all that kind of stuff. Plus the new records are all 24-bit 96K. That's why they can't be on no CD or none of that shit, because you'll lose all of the things that are fun about them. And I was working with Dweezil Zappa trying to figure out how to do Atmos mix. But it's really, because Apple has that technology, it's just hard. You can do it, but there's no, what he was saying, what Dweezil was pointing out to me, because his studios is off the chain and he's got like 18 speakers in there, and you play something. I was in there and he's doing Adobe Atmos remix on the entire Van Halen catalog, and it was just amazing.
Wow.
Just like hear that train at the beginning of Running with the Devil, and it goes all around your head and goes up in the air and comes down. It was crazy.
Oh my God. Well, you and I have geeked out on the Status headphones, And when I listened to the first song that you had sent me of the new material in Status headphones, it felt like you took advantage of every single. It was just so enveloping, and even that wasn't mixed the way that
that shit isn't mixed at all or
it's
EQ'd. It's
it
everything's
just sounds
flat.
so but it sounded so full. It sounded like everything was just happening.
And only thing I'm gonna do is go in and add air with nice verbs and some delays here and there, and then and then EQ and sparkle some things here and there. But for the most part, because I have no idea what I'm doing. I learned from great engineers though, but I just kind of like the singing part. I don't know, like you get on a piano. I don't play piano, so I don't get you get on a piano and you make a chord, and then you know what all the notes are in that chord, and you can do your harmonies like that and all that. I'm just on that shit singing notes. It feels good to me.
Yeah,
right. Exactly.
I'm like, I just do it till it feels good. I don't know if it's technically. I know a lot of shit I do ain't technically right because I'm not. I don't have theory behind me at all. Everything I do is just what feels good. It just I do what feels good and feels natural and doesn't. And the thing is that like musicians of today really should start to understand and look into the study of frequencies because the chakra is all frequencies. And if musicians would start to do that, even electronic musicians and so forth and so on, their music, they would start tuning differently. Because I'm telling you, there was a time when there were church bells all around the world. There was all these bells, and those bells rang at a certain time. And those bells, what people don't realize, those bells were in churches wasn't just a bell. It was tuned to a frequency. That's why it was calming. But then if you go online and look at all these the bell graveyards, they went and took every one of those bells around. And if you look in when the the tuning frequency in the world over used to be like 432 or something, and
that's
then
right.
go look at when they changed it to 440. It was like some film in Germany, some Nazi film.
Yes.
This score was like, yeah, I think I can do this, and it affects people. And that's why a lot of music, when you're listening to like when even you ain't gangster, but if you listen to a gangster rap song, you'll start feeling like that too. You'll be like, man, I wish a motherfucker would, you'll start feeling it.
Absolutely.
And it's because it's in the music. And I'm not making that shit up. If people went and really just took a little time, took an hour or so and studied, looked into and did some due diligence on why they make frequencies of things. It's just like me as a grown ass man. I can't watch television with commercials. I know I can because there's a
I got
tone.
it. Yeah.
No, there's a tone in the commercial, one of the main reasons I really, truly, honestly know is because you know how when they had the illegal cable boxes and all that shit.
Yeah, I got one right now.
But when I lived in
Really?
Minneapolis, one of my houses set on 2.5 acres, private acre, wooded, and I had that giant satellite, not that direct TV bullshit, but that giant satellite that moved and swung around. And so mine had, like, I guess you would call it a crack then. It was cracked, and I could see, like, when Desert Storm was happening, I could see all the raw footage being sent by satellite from Desert Storm. I could see how the general was really being shitty to all the soldiers and all that stuff, and all the kids in those foxholes and stuff you ain't supposed to see. Like when the LA riots was going on, I could see all of that raw footage being sent from the trucks back to the station, and I wasn't supposed to see that. So every morning, if I turn on the television, you could see them programming the today's, the whole lineup for the day, and they would go, it would be the show. Then they said this commercial's coming on. Then you would see them raise the level of that commercial way higher than the level of the show, and then there's a tone that goes in it. They put a tone that you don't hear that runs in it.
Yeah.
It runs through it, and that tone is what makes me crazy because last the last Trump, the first Trump presidency.
Yeah. Unfortunately,
Okay,
yeah.
going from 20 to 2021. Remember, there was that big holdout. He waited till the last minute to sign to extend paying people and all this stuff, right?
Yeah, it's been a standard practice with him.
No, but I'm just saying
Yeah.
this particular time, that's when they got the thing lifted off of for commercials to be loud again. Remember Obama made them turn
Oh
all
yeah.
that shit down and all. Then they lifted that. That's when that shit that puts me in the hospital if I were to eat it. It makes me it's like gravely dangerous to my system. That stuff called MSG.
Yes, monosodium glutamate. Yeah.
That's when Mitch McConnell made all that shit legal again. It was all during that period, and then also they made it where remember you don't see the pirate video sites like you used to because that was during that period is when they also made it where they can go to another country and get your ass and prosecute you here for having a server with movies and shit on it. Before they didn't have that in place, but it was 2020 into 2021. I'm telling you, if you like, I don't go out on New Year's Eve. I don't go out, so I watched what laws are being passed while everybody's out partying, and that's when they pass more laws, and you just watch that shit one time, you'll be blown away. Anyway, that's one of the reasons why so much illegal stuff, and reason why I was saying all that to say that stuff that was in the 70s that they banned in the 70s, like you're watching a show and then something flashes, but your brain sees it, you don't see it, but it was called you go like, damn, I'm hungry now. God, I want a Coca-Cola. I want a burger now.
Oh, subliminal messaging. Right.
Yes, they're easing that shit back into commercials and stuff now. I'm telling you, we're living in a really sad fucking time, and where it's going to end up. Like I was like me. I think in January, February. I think February. I have it late January, February. I have it set up where I'm going to Amsterdam to look for a place to live. But I think everywhere you go, it's the same thing now. Because one thing COVID did is shrink the planet. The planet got really small because everything to me used to feel like, oh, you go to London or you go to Paris. Now everything is shrunk because it made so many places that were never a certain way the same as here now, if that makes any sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's amazing the things that they're doing, and it's I don't know that there's anything necessarily illegal with it. It's just kind of, it's just the way that they market things now, and it's everywhere. It's everywhere.
It's a lot of don't get it twisted. It's a lot of illegal shit going on. That's just been going on since the Bush Cheney administration. What
Before
made them
that,
guys so gangster? They put the shit right on the table and just said, yeah, this is what we're doing. And you're like, what? Got to remember they bailed out Wall Street. Remember that? They bailed out banks. They bailed out the audit. People wouldn't stand for that shit. The status quo, the public wouldn't have stood for that fucking 10 years before that.
Yeah.
And one of the things you did, one of the things 9/11 did, man, you scare a certain group of people, meaning, I hate to say it, but you scare white people really bad. They'll give up their civil liberties because they've given up their civil liberties off of 9/11. And when people would put that shit on TV, oh, the terror alert is that orange today, people be like, oh, man, black folks be on terror alert since I was born.
That's right.
We be on alert with terror. Ain't none of that shit shocking to us or got us moving different. I always just tell people a simple analogy of nature. And this is true because I used to watch it in Minneapolis. I used to look at it. I used to see it in Minneapolis when I lived there. I used to say, like I live where I lived, and when I had this loft downtown. You remember, Michael, where Moose and Sadie's was?
Yeah, I do.
So
over by Monte Carlo and all that.
Yeah, I lived up the street on the corner at that. It was a flour factory, I guess, years ago. And then
I know where you were at. Yeah, I got you.
I was in that building with the 10-foot windows and all that shit. It was gorgeous. But I would look out the window and I would tell somebody, I go, watch this. Now watch this black person cross the street. Black people can have the right of way and everything. We still looking right and left.
Yes, absolutely.
And then I go, no, watch this. Now I would go, watch this.
Mm-hmm.
and they would cross the street and they wouldn't even look at all.
Right.
They would just walk across the street, and that is simply the difference of black and white in this country. Black folks are always on guard, man. Ain't never not been on guard. Ain't never, tiptoeing through the lilies and shit. We've always been like,
that's the truth.
Did you hear that? What was that? We be on that kind of bullshit because we just don't trust anything. And now it's like I was driving the other night to drop off something, and I was like saying to myself how it must just be fucking horrifying, like to think you're driving your car and somebody can stop you and arrest you and take you away right out of your car and nobody will ever know where you're at for who knows how long.
Oh yeah.
And I'm telling you, you get y'all would trip out here. We have, you know what, they have these giant military Hummers that are full of troops. We have that shit all up and down the highways here on regular streets here, just 3, 4, 5 in a row. Like it's like you're in Nazi Germany. We're not supposed to be seeing that.
Mm.
I'm not lying to you guys. I'm telling you, it's a sad time. It's hard to be. It's hard. Like I'm trying to get my shit together. I'm trying to get my head together so I can go do these shows and have fun. I'm trying to go put on some cute clothes and shit and comb my hair and shave and just try to get into another frame of mind and forget about what's going on outside, because that's why I don't put shit like that in my in music, Christopher.
Well, and that's understandable. I mean, I was just curious because you did tap on it a little bit in Verbal Penetration.
Yeah, but Verbal was a record I was never had any intentions of performing because I wasn't supposed to sing that record. The friend of mine that was supposed to sing that record was a cat out here named Terry Stanton, one of my best friends, and he's a phenomenal singer. He's actually on one of the new records coming out. You'll hear him. He's phenomenal. He sings a song called I think it's called The Marriage. I don't know what I named it, The Marriage song or The Proposal. I think it's called The Proposal song. But he was supposed to sing that whole record. I wasn't supposed to sing any of that record. Not a note.
Well, I do have some people asking about this show in Oakland. First off, I will reiterate for those who are listening on Spotify and iHeartRadio and who can't see the scroll, you can go to funkatopia.com/Oakland. That's FUNKATOPIA.com/Oakland. And it will take you right to the page for Jesse Johnson's tickets to the Oakland show, assuming that there are some left. Could be sold out. I don't know. I hope not. But I hope for Jesse it is, but I hope for the concert goer it's not.
I was going to say, that's so fucked up. I hope your shit ain't sold out.
I hope your shit is. Yeah.
That's so cold, man.
August 28th to 29th. Oh, come on now. You know exactly what I meant.
That was him, Jesse. I didn't say none of that.
All right. Now he's throwing me out into the wolves now.
Well, hey, man. Hey, well, come on now, brother.
You know what I meant.
How are y'all babies? How are your babies doing, Chris?
They're doing good. If some of you on video saw my daughter come over, she's been having some rough times. School just started over here, and it's been rough. It's been rough.
Oh,
it's been
poor
good, man.
Boo. It's just hard it's so hard being a child now because the shit that we had available to us, they don't have that. I mean, it's terrible.
They got too much available.
Sorry to be Debbie Downer. Wah, wah, wah. But it's just, it really is. It's like the things that, especially if they get once they start getting in their 20s and stuff, and you just realize we could go buy a house for $11,000. So you could buy a condo for like, 15. I think my first townhouse when I signed my first record deal, brand new, built from the townhouse. How many bedrooms? 1, 2, 3 bedrooms, 2-car garage, blah, 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 blah. That shit was like $60,000.
Wow.
Yeah, they just have too much. They're making them grow up too fast. Everything is on this friggin' phone in their face.
You can't even, if you got a child that's intuitive and they look to the future, that's just going to not scare them, but bum them out definitely. Because to get into I know it's different in Atlanta, but here, to get into a home here, you know what kind of down payment you have to have? Your first house. You're going to have to have like 50, 60 grand down payment. It's ridiculous out here, man. Oh my God, LA is on some. I remember last year I rehearsed at a place, April last year, and it was $1,300 for 2 weeks. I went to book that same place for Paisley, and it was $2,800 for a week. And I was like, yeah, I won't be here again. Crazy.
Who's a couple people are asking who is the band that's going to be playing with you at Yoshi's?
Tell them none of their business because I don't know. No, I don't know. It's a whole different band. It's different group of people.
So it's not Jerry and Brian
Nope,
and
nope,
guys?
nope,
Oh,
nope, 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 nope.
Okay.
Nope.
All right. Okay. This is going to be, you guys are going to be surprised, but you know, Jesse, it's going to be good. It's going to be amazing. Again, funkatopia.com/Oakland to pick that up. Now you had mentioned that you were ready to start. I don't know if you were just kind of mentioning it off the cuff, but you were talking about taking 40 days in the studio and you're waiting for that to be
No, that's when I'm all
40
done
hours.
here. So yeah, that's for mixing. I have all of that squared away. I got 40 days.
When does that start?
When I finish, and I'm
No.
trying to be finished
Okay.
before the end of this year. I don't know
Okay.
a day, but I know that once I finish Yoshi's, that's the only thing I'm going to be doing until I have a show in St. Louis on the 15th with a friend of mine's band, Dirty Mugs. They're playing, and then I'm going to come up in their thing and do like probably 45 minutes of me. And it's a bit much bigger place. So
are we I know people are going to kill me if I don't ask, but do you think it's a possibility we see this album this year?
You know, in all honesty, it has nothing to do with me being finished. Am I confident enough to think I'll be finished? I'll be finished. It's just that you can't, oh God, to be honest with you, man, putting it another way, putting it the only way I possibly can, it just can't be this miserable. I don't want to put a record out with the world being miserable. I don't know if that makes any sense. I don't know. Yeah. I know I'm being whatever by hoping it'll be better, but I don't know. But I know everything is going to be late because the website and everything will be done and set up, and that's where everything will be at for pre-orders and so forth and so on. But I just, it'd be like if it was done right now and everything was in place and dropping it right now. I just don't think I could. I don't. It doesn't feel. I don't know. Just feels miserable.
It's timing and season, but we won't be that patient enough to wait till 2028.
No, it won't. It won't be anything. No, it won't be anything like that. No, I know
why I chose that year.
No, it'll be out. I'm trying to, if anything, I'm trying to do like a January release, to be honest, because it's a lot. It's a lot.
I know.
It's a lot. And it's not just the music I'm talking about. I'm just mean the
vibe and
the business of
season.
The business of it. Just putting it, you got to remember, I am the drive a major part of it, and I've already shot the covers and everything, and it's like well, I don't even know what month it is now. August, September, October, November.
This year has gone by insanely fast. I don't know what happened this year.
It'll be done. If you ask me, do I think it'll be finished at the end of the year? Yeah, I do. Because I plan on moving it possibly in November, and I definitely want it in the can by November, without a doubt.
And you still haven't decided on where you're going from last year. I remember asking, what about Atlanta? You were like, hell no.
I just, me and the South don't really.
I know.
We don't. Me and the South and me having this tan, it doesn't.
Yeah.
I have a rough time. I just have a hard time. The mentality is different. I'm not saying it's better. It's better here, but it's just that it's so different. It's
different.
Drastically different when I go to New Orleans and work there. It's just drastically different. It's not saying it's bad or good. It's just like it's worse than looking both ways. It's like it's just different.
Jesse, are you from the Midwest though? Yeah.
Yeah, I am.
Okay. Yeah. Also, Rock Island, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, as far as I know, like any black people from that part of the country have always been a little bit more, you know, uh, strong in character and kind of know who they are.
No, but see, Rock Island is not the same as like Minneapolis
Okay.
and Rock Island share some similarities, but it's small similarities in a sense that Rock Island is Rock Island has always been like I think 70, like it's 70. It used to be like 70, almost 80% Jewish, and because I went to a lot
Wow.
of bar mitzvahs and went and grew up with a lot of Jewish kids, so
Okay.
it's a high number of Caucasian, but I didn't. But I was born in Rock Island, but I wasn't raised in Rock Island. I
I
grew up
see.
in East St. Louis and East
Ooh,
St. Louis, Illinois, and South Side of Chicago. I didn't grow up in Rock Island.
that's hardcore
Rock
too,
Island
though.
has no black radio, and I still don't think they have black radio. That's why
I got you.
I was very versed in rock and roll and all that stuff,
Well,
and
that's one of
because
the similarities you're talking about. Because up here, I mean, KMOJ was it, and you got to drive in the parking lot to get it, to get a good signal.
yeah, but
So,
the thing that I didn't understand is that uh I didn't understand like the whole police thing, because when I like even
oh,
now today, and people go, the police, the police, and was so for me, the police is the police. It doesn't matter the color of the skin, because I
yeah,
never saw a white cop until I came to Minneapolis in
I got
'81.
you.
I never saw a white cop. I've only seen black policemen.
Uh,
I grew up around. I've
I
only seen
understand.
black policemen, and
Yeah.
they was they were motherfuckers was out of control too, man. Oh, they were something else. Cops
All
is
right.
cops, man. I
Yeah.
don't care what, because people always get it confused with the color, and it's like, no, that shit's a brotherhood.
Uh-huh.
Whatever color you are, you go against the brotherhood. You going against the brotherhood. It ain't. That's why when people say it true and right when they say it's the biggest gang that is hard to fuck with, LAPD and so forth and so on, because it really, and you get the same beef from.
Mhm.
I mean, I've been all over, and cops ain't no joke, regardless of wherever you at. I've been in Norway and seen cops just like God, just gaffle folks. So it's police is just police. That's just a mentality or
You're right.
something, man.
You're right.
I mean, I
Mhm.
experienced it so many places and so many times. I mean, I've seen it with my witnessed it. Lord, thank God I wasn't dealing with them, but there was a couple of times where we almost was well, on that show. What's that shit called? Something
Which
abroad.
wow. I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, where you get arrested abroad and you be in some jail in a foreign country. That almost happened a few times. That had nothing to do with me, but because I was with on the same tour bus, I could have been in jail and shit too over
Sure.
shit that I don't do, like drugs and all that bullshit. And that's why I don't really. There's certain people I don't tour with, because I'm like, no, I'm good. I'm good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now I've twice in one day. I'm like, nope, nah, that's it. They put you in a circle and brought out a dog. That dog looked, little dog was friendly. If that dog jumped on you, your ass was missing for a long time.
Oh boy.
They took folks in the back. I don't know what they did to them, but they came out looking shell shocked. But nobody ever jumped on me because I wasn't doing anything like that. So I'm like, no, I'm good. I don't play shit like I don't play. I don't even play around in this country. If I get a parking ticket, I pay that shit. I do not want. I ain't giving nobody a
Oh
legitimate reason to pull
shit!
my black ass over.
I
You
feel
just
you on that, man.
you just
Yeah.
reminded me. I got a ticket to pay.
Who?
Yeah, there's your white
Me.
privilege at work. See, the white man can wait for 3 weeks to
No,
pay
no, I can't. No, I can't.
his
It was
target
it
ticket.
was it
But
was a tag thing. It was a tag thing.
but a brother.
Spread
Come on.
over.
Uh,
Spread them. Let them
right?
spread your cheeks. Let him go. He's
Oh,
clean.
right away. Spread them.
Yeah. But they
uh
want one time I bought a new Jaguar in Minneapolis. I bought a new Jaguar and I was over by Michael. Remember where Rudolph's is?
Oh yeah.
But remember that store? It was a store that was like Whole Foods and Era One
Yes.
before those. It was called a Co-op or something. Remember
Yeah, it
that?
was down the street. Yeah, it was
Yeah, I had
the
just got this
wedge. Yeah.
Jaguar. Two things happened to me when I got this Jaguar. I got a brand new Jaguar, and I was in it, and I went into, and I live way in Andover somewhere. Anyway, I went into Minneapolis to go to that Co-op store, and I parked in front of that store, and I went in the store, and I came out. When I came out, these cops pulled up behind me, and and I just sat in the car, and then they said, "Oh, let me see your." Knocked at the window. I let the window down. I said, "Yeah." They said, "Let me see your ID." They said, we want to see your ID." And I said, "For what?" Just coming out of the grocery store, and I said, "For what?" And it was all because I had a new car, and they just knew I was black, and they just knew I was a drug dealer.
That'll do it.
I said, "For what? For what? For what?" So they said, "Come, get out the car, come sit in the car." I went and sit in the back of the car, and they ran my name and saw this motherfucker can't afford an attorney. And then the black cop was driving, the white cop was in the passenger seat, and the brother was looking at something on the computer. And I wish I could have seen what they saw, but it was like, "Let him out, let him out." And the white dude said, "Why? Why?" He was like pissed. "Why?" Because they was gonna jack me if I was a dealer. They was about to jack me if I was a dealer. They was gonna jack me. He said, "Let him out." And they let me out of the car. But it's like, and then another time, a friend of mine from here in LA, David Cochran, was with me. And I just picked him up or something, was coming through downtown LA. And I was at a light, and a lady cop pulled up behind me. And told us we got out of the car. And she's like, "See your ID, where you going?" Da, 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 da. Same BS. And I was like, "Oh, man." And she's like, "What's your name?" And she's looking at my ID, and she said, "Oh, you're really so and so and so and so." I was like, "Yeah." And she said, "Oh, I know this is a," and David will tell you, he was with me, and she's like, "Ah, it's off script. Can I give you a hug or something like that?" And it was a lady cop hugged me, and I was like, my arms were so straight. I was like, I don't want her to think I was, say she'd give a reason to shoot me or something.
That's right.
But then she just hugged me, and she's like, "I'm sorry for stopping. I just wanted to make sure because you didn't have tags on your car. But I have that thing in the window." It's like, come on, man. But yeah, yeah. And then I was telling somebody about how this is a true story. I'm not making this shit up. I was what was I, 15, 16, maybe 17. I was 16 or 17, but I was coming from this store. It was a little bodega type thing on the corner, and I was coming from the store, and then the cops, and then I ran, like I didn't slow down all the way for a stop sign, and the cops like went U-turn, hit their lights, and chased me. Don't y'all know I outran them motherfuckers? I am not lying. Let me tell you how I got busted though. So I outran them. Blah 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 blah. Was flying, 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 and I came down and I made a left into the alley and went parked in the garage and let the door down. Let the garage door down. Everything is cool. All these my black ass friends got me busted because they all came outside. Like the car, I'm outside with them, and the
Oh,
cop's car goes shooting by down 11th Street, flying. And so everybody comes outside. "What's going on? I'm like, "Man, go to the fucking house."
yeah.
And so
You
the
telling them
cops
where you're
came.
at?
They came back.
Oh man.
And then they was like, and then my father came outside and let up the door. "What's going on?" I'm like, and they saw the car, and it was like a Dodge Charger or something.
Oh boy.
Sure did. True story. One
So
time
what were all the charges for that? That's evasion. That's
I actually didn't. I just had to pay for, because I was a minor, so they didn't do all of that. They just made
oh.
me. I ran to get around a car that was
Really?
sitting a car was sitting at the stop sign, and there was a car coming the other direction, so I couldn't deal with that lane. So I ran up on the curb and ran over the stop sign, so I had to pay for a new stop sign.
Yeah.
Ah,
Okay.
And I must have been like 16, 17, but man, I sure could drive. So I outran their ass, and it was like a Dodge Charger or something. It was like, I don't keep want to say R7. I don't know what it was. It was a Dodge. It was a Dodge Charger type car, and I pulled that shit in the garage, and then my father came out. "What's going on?" And opened up the door, and they saw the back of the car and the license plate.
oh
I'm
man.
like,
Uh,
man,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. And when I remember
I get
getting
it though.
to, I remember getting to California when they connected all of the computers. And what year did I come out? I don't remember. I think I came out here, was about to turn 2000. Remember, everybody was scared when it was 2000. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
People were buying canned goods and it was tripping out and everything. Anyway. But
Yeah.
yeah, I couldn't get my car. Oh, my car got taken here when because in Minnesota, if your driver license expire on your birthday, you have a year before you got to renew them. But that doesn't play outside of Minnesota. So they were like, "Yo, your driver license will expire." So they took my car. I had a brand new car. It was like I forget, it was some red sports car. Come on, what was it?
They took your car instead of just giving you a ticket?
No, they towed your car. They was like, "You got to get
Oh,
out the car." Da 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 da. And it was Christmas,
okay.
around Christmas time, and it was full of a bunch of shopping stuff. I had to take all that shit out. And they took my car for 30 days, and it had this huge bill that I paid. But they take people's shit all the time like that out here. And because guess what they did with my car? They already had it, and my car was like, I know what it was. It was those Mitsu. You know what a Mitsubishi 3000 GT is? It's that
I can't
red
picture it.
sport. It's a red sports car. It was a brand new red sports car, but it didn't have a lien on it. It was paid for, so I just bought it. And they, when I got my car back, when I got it, it already had all that shit in the window. When it has no lien, they're usually just taking people's shit and gangster it and just selling it and keeping the money. So they had my car like that because weeks and weeks after that, probably months, I kept getting auction stuff. Like they had already put my car up for auction. It's like these are raggedy, lousy. No, for real. I
That's
remember.
messed up.
What did I? Oh, and when I went to court for that, this is how fucked up it is out here. I went to court for that in Van Nuys, and when you go into court, you sit in court, and then they lock the door when court starts. Because guess what? And then they play a tape. I'm not lying to y'all. They play a tape, and they say whatever your fine is. Whatever your fine is, there's a 350% tax on top of that. So inside of the courtroom, sitting on the left, sitting on the right, I'm sorry, sitting on the right facing the judge, that's where I was sitting. And then sitting to the left, it was empty. So this is how horrible California is. And so I paid all of that. I went and got my California driver license and all that shit, right? So it's called admitting guilt with corrections or some shit, pleading guilty with corrections. So he's like, yeah, my shit was expired here, but it wasn't expired in Minnesota. But anyway, so they said your fine's $150 as an example, right? So when you go to pay it though, that shit is like 500 and some dollars because
Right.
they gangster. And so, but no, the
Yeah.
sad thing about it that was really, really sad that day, there were so many Latino people there that had no insurance. And so when you don't have any insurance, it's a $500 fine. And then if you get caught again, it's $1,000 fine. And then you get caught again, it's another five. So it's like 2 grand. So it was all these people that had fines of 2,500, and so they had to go sit on the left side of the court because they have to do, what is that called, community service shit.
Mm-hmm.
They had to go do that, and I was just like, I mean, just full. And that shit was so, isn't that so gangster? You already don't have the money and they gonna give you all these crazy, it's fucking unbelievable. What? I'm telling you, it's just horrible. This place is, and it's not just California, it's just the country. When you look at all the stuff that I was reading on the stuff the past couple of weeks of what they took from children, healthcare with this Doge bullshit. It's like, man, we gotta fight, man. We gotta do something because it just can't keep getting this. It can't get this strung out like that. I don't know what's going on. Why aren't people just losing it? And then when the next person I hear, I'm gonna punch him in the fucking mouth if I hear one more person say, "This is not what I voted for." It's like, yes, it is. You just didn't think it was gonna affect your dumb ass.
That's
Yeah.
exactly it.
So if you can vote for injustice and mistreatment of other people, but if it's not gonna bother you, you're okay with that. You're a piece of garbage. You're a fucking
Exactly.
piece of garbage. You're
Yes,
trash.
sir.
because you can't, if you should not want anybody, you should not want anyone suffering.
Yeah, 100%.
So I'm sorry to go all Martin Luther
No,
King
say
on
it,
y'all,
man.
but it's just
This
Say
is
like
it.
this
Say
shit.
it, brother.
this is
Say
what
it,
people
brother.
tune in. This is what people tune in
This
for.
shit
They're
is just,
Yeah.
we're living in some really, so it's hard for me, like leading up to this interview, Karin, to tell you, I was like, I don't want to do it. It's in such in a bad headspace right now. And I'm really in a bad headspace. Yeah, just,
I know
um,
it's a lot. There's a lot going on right now, so
I think
I get
I
it.
was so in love with somebody that didn't love me back. And that shit is the realization of that. And then what I tend to do with that shit is I just go, there's this thing when there's a storm and you're in a sailboat, you let your sails down and ride the storm out. And so how I do it is I go write songs and I put that shit in a song, and I do, and I put the energy. It's the same thing when I'm working a lot and I'm alone a lot, and you go without sex and you go like, you can actually take the energy of not having sex but wanting to have sex. You can take the energy and put that same energy in this. I actually have done that in songs, and I've never done it in my life. That's why I listen to my other songs now, and I know where I was trying to go. I just didn't know how to emotionally go there, and I really didn't, and it's really sad. Just latter stage of my life. But I'm telling you, every psychic I've ever went to anywhere in the world told me, you're like a stove where the eye is turned. There's fire there, but it's just low. They said your fire doesn't come on until latter in your life. I've been told that for like 10 years. Same thing from different psychics all over the world. Tell me the same thing. Said that same thing to me. Says, your time, it's your time, it's your time. So I'm trying to be, I don't know if I sound crazy, but I'm trying to be honest to the gods that touch us, because we can sit and brag and talk all the shit we want to, but great songs, they're not, you don't do them. They come through, you're just a messenger, like not even a messenger, almost like a, because you know how I know? Because you don't
Conduit.
remember. Yeah, you're the reason why it's really like that, because you don't remember the song. You don't even know how to play the song now. Because if it
Hey,
was really just all you, you would know that shit inside. I'm gonna have to go back. There's solos on my record. There's solos on Verbal. I don't even know how to. I never knew how to play them. Like people go, I want to hear Beautiful Sadie. I want to hear. So I don't know them solos. I listen to that shit and it scares me. I'm like, I don't know how to play that. I have to go really sit down somewhere, turn off everything, turn off the lights, close the blinds, and listen with a guitar plugged in. Because I'm not lying to you. It's just like if it was really you, how come you don't remember them? You don't know how to play them. You don't remember them. That's what I was talking about, Mike, when I was talking about off the cuff.
Yeah.
So much of what I do, it wasn't a planned thing. You didn't just go, oh, it fell. And what I tend to do with a record too, it does change from top to bottom. I'll play a guitar part, and as I play the part, I'll just play it all the way through to the end. And now you're gonna do something different right here that you didn't do. You're gonna play the rhythm part. You're gonna add that in, and I just hate the records aren't like that. Now people do records and they do them in 4 bars,
Oh
really
yeah.
1 bar. They'll do 1 bar, and then they'll copy and they put all this and they do them in 1 bar. Now I don't. I record so drastically different and write, like I used to always go to a coffee house. I used to go up to Moose and Sadie's and sit there and do, and write the lyrics. I don't do any of that now. I can't even write like that anymore. Now I write the song. I come up with a title. I have them always come up. I'm always blessed. The gods always bless me with a melody, and that's what you don't understand. When you can say this and that when you're doing the music, but when the gods are in the room with you, that's when you come with that melody. It's not even the lyrics, it's the melody. The melody is the thing that makes it, like, it makes or breaks a song. If you come up with a winning melody, it's over. And I'm, man, I'm so blessed with that. Every time I do it, I hear it. I always hear it. I don't know what the words are going to say. Sometimes I use some of the words. And if you know what the title is going to be, then that tells you the journey you're about to go on, or you getting ready to go on, and so on and so on. But I'm telling you, when you hear that melody, the melody is the one that just, that's the song. I don't care. how much great music and this, that, and that, and this. And I don't write like a guitarist, so I don't give a shit about the guitar when I'm writing or composing, because then you're on some old ego shit. When you all write this and on to make it fit. I don't write frames to hang guitar solos on it. That's why people still talk about Jimi Hendrix, because that cat wrote incredible songs.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I'm glad that you. I mean, a little disappointed that you have to go through the season that you're going through right now, but obviously, I guess you're kind of blessed because it's giving you material.
Well,
Uh,
well, well, before, like in the 60s and the 70s and all these rock stars, they were self-medicating because they wasn't diagnosing people. People didn't know what was going on with them, because
yeah,
you got to understand, a lot of drug addicts, a lot, especially creative, high level people, creative, that might be drug addicts or alcoholics. The reason why people don't understand is because they're fighting the lows. When they go to the lows, that's what they're fighting in their life, to escape the lows, because the
Yeah.
lows are unbearable. I'm just so used to dealing with that shit straight, uh uh most of the time, that I just go like, go, 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 go. I'm and don't misunderstand me. Somebody was making a joke about magnesium, but I'll take a handful of magnesium. I got other mushroom stuff that I drink that will help me
Mm.
stay calm, that will help me go, because what I found out through years and years of therapy is that my depression comes when I'm creating. That's why that's why my own shit scares me, because when it's time to write lyrics, I really trip out. And I trip out because I gotta put truth in it. Yeah, I'm gonna embellish, but I gotta put truth in it. And the truth for me is painful. And so going through, I had a great, great, great therapist she was actually my godmother. She was like the only mother figure I've ever been close to and loved. When she died, then I knew what people meant when they go, my mom passed away. I now know what that feels like, because she passed away in 2022. And I'm telling you, I've never been this lonely in my life, where I always had her to talk to about this, and, well, I'm trying to deal with this, and she would just be, and she would answer the phone when I would call. I would call, and she wouldn't say hello. I'd call her, and she would say, I love you from the top of your head to the bottom of your feet. She would always say that to me. And she was the most consistent, and probably the only mother figure that I've ever had that loved me like that. That, I mean, just unconditionally loved
Mhm.
me. If I was doing something stupid, she would cuss me out, no doubt, go, what the fuck are you thinking? Da 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 da. But she would always guide me and counsel me and just love me, and saw and that, and in the midst of all that, I would be remiss if I didn't say thank you to Morris Day and Prince. And the reason why I say that right now is because they saw me. I never saw me. They saw something in me and was like, oh, ooh, okay, oh shit. I never saw that. Even to this day, that's what I said about trying to get my head together, because my life, I live so normal and humble in my private life, and I'm not around a lot of people, which isn't good for me. But I cannot know who I am a lot of times. Like, I go through the airport and people go, I don't have your autograph, can I have a picture? And I go, who do you think I am? Da, da, da. Go into that shit, because I don't have what do they call, they have a new name for that now, imposter syndrome, right?
Yes.
mm,
And
right.
I've always dealt with that, because there's different sides to what we do. There's different meaning, there's different pieces to, when you say rock star shit. And I always found the rock star thing to be very, very dangerous if you live it. I know, I'm serious. I've seen so many people die from it, trying to be some shit, and not only just die from it, but ruin really great relationships, because they expect their girlfriend to treat them like this, or their wife or whatever. And it's like, no, you're a regular person to them. That's why I used to tell people, when they would about Prince, I'd be like, I never knew him like how you know him. I just always knew him, and like, I always just knew him as a regular dude, because Michael probably don't know that because he wasn't around, but I used to live at that purple house all the time. I was always there. So
Mm.
and and thank God he was always the one driving. I didn't ever have to drive, but I was always there. And that's how I got, that's how I learned how to record. That's how I learned how to actually record and work the studio and all that shit, because I was always there. And then my girl would be really pissed and was like, would say dumb shit like, it's like you guys are having an affair. And I would be like, bitch, if you learn how to make records, I'll come hang with you too. Leave me the fuck alone.
Right.
Fuck alone. I'm trying to, and I would really say that to her because I'm like, because it's saying dumb shit to me like that. But it's like, no,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I'm really trying to learn this shit. It's like I was really about that African proverb, feed a man, he eat for a day, teach a motherfucker how to fish, he'll make records the rest of his life. So
Basically, yeah. Mm-hmm.
that's what I was trying to do. I wasn't
Yes,
in
sir.
there. I wasn't, oh, let's go chase bitches. And I wasn't into none of that. I was about trying to learn this shit because I never, it was the very first recording studio that I ever been in my entire life. And what people
Yeah.
don't know about me is when I came to Minneapolis in 81, I never touched a keyboard, seen a synthesizer, nothing in my life. Could barely play chords on a fucking guitar. And because I was a drummer and a bass player.
Well, man, I don't I don't understand because you're the most natural guitar player I've ever seen.
Because I play guitar the same as I play bass or drums. It's all rhythm. It's all drums to me. Like when I would have to learn a D'Angelo song. D'Angelo songs is really, really. You have to. His thing is a really unique timing. That kind of Jay Dilla
Yes,
thing,
sir.
and so it wasn't hard for me because I came from blues. I came from blues, and blues is behind the beat.
I guess so, yes. But
Blues is behind the beat. And so when he would play something I had to learn, I would just mute the guitar and go chick, 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 to get the rhythm first. If I
yes.
get the rhythm, then I'll figure out the other thing. But
Yes,
with
sir.
everything, it's the rhythm of it, how it falls and picks up and so forth and so
You
on.
know
But
what?
yeah.
That's what it is because your right hand is just vicious. That's where it is, man. That's what
But there's some funny my bending stuff on my left hand is what people trip out about, but what people don't know is I'm actually left-handed. I'm not right-handed. I'm left-handed. But when I went to school, they didn't allow you to be.
right.
They didn't allow you to be left-handed. And then you ready for this? Jimmy is not left-handed at all. Jimmy is right-handed. But Jimmy, like a lot of us little kids, picked up a broom and was standing in front of the television with the net going the same way as the person you're looking at on the net on TV.
Yeah.
So if you mirror the person on TV, your guitar is gonna go that way. And you ready for this? I used to play that way first, except for my strings were upside down like Eric Gale's. That's when
I
I
got you.
played. I played like that for 2 years with my strings upside down, like how Eric Gale's. But then I switched over because of a friend of mine, Didi. He's left-handed, and I could always pick up. He would trip out that I could always pick up his left-hand guitar
Uh-huh.
and still play songs on it
Sure.
while it
Well,
was still
Sonny's a
left-handed.
lefty. Sonny Thompson's a
Yeah,
lefty
Sonny
also.
plays
Yeah.
like that, but Sonny's actually left-handed. Yeah,
Yes,
he's left-handed,
you're right.
but I'm left-handed and play right-handed, so my
Uh-huh.
strong hand is on the note on the neck instead of the other thing.
I don't know. Your right hand just says something else to me, man. I don't know what it is, but that's what I think you've got that a lot of cats don't.
Oh, I was exposed to all the right stuff. That's one thing
Yeah.
I gotta get hats off to my mom and dad. They were playing all of it. Every blues, you name it, man. They were playing every style, every because Mississippi, Texas, they were playing Chicago. They were playing every
Mm.
style of the blues. I grew up playing and knowing how to play and didn't even know what I was doing. Like I was
Yeah.
playing slide guitar and all that stuff. I didn't play as a kid. I didn't pick up guitar until I was like 15.
That's crazy to me. But I guess if you've got it, you've
And
got
never ever
it.
ever touched a synthesizer or a keyboard or a piano, none of that shit in my life. And then that's why when I listen to the records, I'm like I'm playing all the keyboards on those records.
Yeah.
And please don't ask me how, please, because I have not. No, I don't. I really don't. I have to learn the bass part to So Misunderstood. And I don't know how I came up with none of that stuff. I really don't, but I did. And so I look at it and I'm proud of the fact that you could have been just a statistic and never made it. And I got on not even a Greyhound. It was on a Continental Trailway bus station.
Oh
That
man,
one,
trailways.
that one is down by First. The one used to be down by
Yes,
First
sir.
Avenue,
Yeah.
and
Uh-huh.
that's what I came there on. And then I heard the
Oh
Y
man.
that I used to stay at is gone now.
Yeah.
I heard that's
Yeah.
gone. But yeah, it's just it was weird. And then when I came back to LA after the Paisley how much time went? I think 3 or 4 days later, I went back and spent a Monday through Thursday with my kids, all my kids there, and just hung out with them and their babies and so forth and so on. But I got really sick there. I got really like a flu type thing. I'm telling you, it's really depressing for me to come there. And I've tried everything. I think it maybe it's this, maybe it's that, and it's just isn't a place that I'm supposed to be.
Yeah,
Because it's
I
heavy
hear
for
you.
me there. It
Yeah.
is. I'm not kidding you. I'm not lying at all. It's heavy. It's weird. It just is not a place that I'm supposed to be. Whenever some and I've never moved to a place that I moved from. I've never lived in a city that I lived in before. I don't know what that is. I gotta look into what the hell that's about either. But yeah. I'm really looking forward to the world to hear this shit. And I think those that will give me a chance to hear what it is, because it's different. It's very different, but it isn't. It's not flute different. It's not like that, but it's totally different.
That a
It's
little.
not Andre 3000
It's
different.
not Andre
I know,
3000.
and
It's not flute different.
no. I understand where he coming from, though. I
Oh
do
Oh,
yeah.
understand
sure.
where he's
Yeah,
coming from,
absolutely. I mean,
because
yeah,
but I love their Outcast stuff. I love
absolutely.
the
Oh my God. Yeah.
Hey Ya and all that. So I just
Who doesn't? Yeah.
all of the stuff they did.
Yes, sir.
Ain't
Yeah.
nobody. Because I used to look at Andre as like was
So
almost
fresh and
like
so clean.
I used to look at him as almost as a modern George Clinton when he would do the wigs and that's the stuff.
Oh,
They were
sure.
so
Yeah.
cool. I used to love them.
Oh, absolutely.
But yeah,
Yeah.
no, it's so for me, it's just like not to sound corny and shit, but it's really, truly, honestly about being truthful in the music. I'll lie about everything else and lie to everybody else, but be true. I'm trying to be truthful to this shit, and I'm not, and I'm trying everything, and I'm not trying to. I promise that I would not be lazy on it. And what that means, if this shit don't sound right, throw it away and start it all over. Because there's a song that if I picked up the guitar and played it for you guys right now, it's so beautiful, and I recorded it from head to toe, did the whole thing I was just telling Michael that I dug about Diamonds and Pearl. It goes, the strings come in and it's a zoom, zoom, and the whole orchestra, the brass, but it's like the song is in the wrong fucking key.
Oh,
And I was gonna sing it falsetto, and I'm like, oh, I try to stay away from that all the time because people always think Prince is the only one that's saying falsetto, so I leave that shit alone. And no, I
I got
do
you.
because I'm like a Curtis Mayfield, Eddie Kendricks guy.
Yes.
Yeah.
I do. I'm like a huge, huge fan of Curtis Mayfield, and I don't even think Curtis was singing that. I don't think he was singing falsetto. I think that was his natural voice. Like Ron Isley's voice, natural is weird and high. Ron Isley's
Hmm.
one of the hardest people to sing
I
because
know what you're saying.
it's not a falsetto. It's his natural voice, and he's putting grit and power behind. I'm
Yeah.
telling you, a lot of singers will tell you he's a hard cat to sing.
Like Smokey Robinson type of approach.
No, but Smokey, I can sing Smokey because Smokey's singing it. That's a falsetto.
Yeah, but
That's a
yeah, but the way
falsetto.
he delivers it is the way that he delivers it though is so fluid and it's just different.
Yeah,
It's just
but you know who Prince was a major fucking giant. Like he used to make me sit down and listen to these records. He's a major, major fucking fan of like I don't even think he's ever mentioned him really, but he might have kinda, but he's a major, major fan of Marvin Gaye.
Oh,
oh yeah.
sure.
Like seriously, like
Hmm.
he would go listen to what Marvin says when the record's going. He would turn, Marvin be saying a whole bunch of nasty shit when they're on the fade,
Oh, yeah.
Mm.
and I never knew any of that. He was like, listen to what he says when he was just playing me all this stuff, but that was the mishmash of the three of us because Morris was into a whole nother music. Like Morris's thing was that man, it better be some hand claps on this shit. Don't
Oh,
play. Like we were upstairs sleep one day. Morris and I was in the living room sleep. We'd all been out. We had went out. Then we were all up all night and in the studio and this and that. And then Morris and I were upstairs in the living room sleep on this couch pit thing and Prince comes up, Morris, come listen to this. And it was Let's Pretend We're Married, right? Morris couldn't stand that song. Morris was like, man, where's the hand? upset.
Where's the
He goes,
hand claps?
he's like, man, where's the hand claps? And then Morris comes upstairs mad, man. And you hear him, he's still talking shit. And between him and Prince, he's like, man, it's choo choo train music and all that shit. And then and then he goes, Jesse, he goes, man, I'm not blah, blah, blah. Him and Morris was always arguing. It was funny as hell, too. Because they're childhood friends, and so when they
Yeah.
argue, it was just funny to me. It was just like because Morris would just say it. Morris would say
Yeah.
anything to anybody. So he goes, Jesse, come and tell me. He said, whatever. Jesse, come listen to this, man. You gonna like this. And then he played it, and I was like, yeah, it's just dope. Because
No.
that bubble
Yeah.
Oh
bass
yeah.
thing he was doing. But Morris did one because Morris is like, Morris is like one way, boom 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 boom. God,
Oh, right. Okay.
Morris
Yeah.
you better have because if you ever heard Morris's version of it wasn't called Party Up. It was a song that Morris wrote that bass line and everything, and he's playing the drums. And if you ever heard his version of that shit is funky. And it's just slower. Boom, 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 boom. And Morris can, you don't understand. Well, I don't know what to tell you, Mike. Morris can tap.
Yeah. Oh no, man.
That motherfucker
One
can
of my
tap
favorite drummers. I
some.
learned a lot.
Mine
Yeah.
too, man. I would be in the time. I would join the time today if that like it was playing
If
drums.
he's on the drums.
Oh, cause that boy ain't no joke, man. Because I used to jam with the three of us used to jam all the time, and that's how
Yeah.
they got me kind of into R&B. Because I didn't know anything about R&B either when I came to Minneapolis, and they
Wow.
would start doing this. But I always tell people this though, and then I was thinking about it when I was there this last time. I was like, wow. Now watch this. Now you guys can go back and do your own research and tell me if I'm crazy. I brought that James Brown shit to the table. Cause go back and look at all of the Dirty Mind and everything else, and tell me where there's some James Brown shit, some horns. I was on the
All right,
guitar.
man.
I was on the guitar because I knew all that James shit from my
You're
dad.
right.
So
You're right, man.
I brought all that James Brown shit, and all that boom, doing that shit on guitar.
Yeah.
And the time I was brought all of that James
Yeah.
Brown shit because Prince wasn't doing that. I brought
You're right.
all of that shit to the table. I brought so much of that shit to the table because nobody was even thinking about that. Because Prince used to walk by my hotel room. I remember he used to walk by my room. He might have said this to you, Mike, but he used to say this to me. He walked by my hotel room and he goes, "Why are you listening to them?" And I said, "What are you talking about?" He goes, "Why are you listening to them? They're old." And I was like, "Get the fuck, motherfucker! Someday you're gonna be old too." The fuck. And he would say it if I was listening to Funkadelic, because I always listen to Funkadelic. Like he was in Parliament, I was in the Funkadelic, so I turned him on to. I would bring all these records over that I know he wasn't listening
I
to.
wanna know it's good, do you, baby?
Yeah, that's where she's always in my hair. Tell me that ain't the same
Oh,
song. That
sure.
it's
Yeah.
the
Oh,
same.
I didn't think about that.
I
Yeah.
didn't know. I brought that shit to him. I was like, dude, this shit right here. And I put that shit on and cranked it up to the speakers and because Eddie Hazel somehow is so behind, but in time say he's so fucking
Yeah.
behind. And then I came back 2 days later and he said, listen to this. And he played that She's Always in My Hair song. And it was from that song. And then I played him. I said, yeah, but this shit right here, because um, um, Prince always had really, really nice acoustic guitars. Like one day he came up. I've never seen his guitar, but I don't think I don't know. I wonder where that guitar is. But he came up and he showed me a white J200, and it was a white. I've never seen a white J200. They're huge acoustic. And he shows
Oh,
me this
right.
white J200, and
Mhm.
I'm in the living. He goes, check this out, and I go, oh, that shit's so dope. That's so bad. Oh, da da da. Then he opens it. He goes, he has a book with him, and he opens the book, and Elvis has the same guitar. And I've never ever seen a white J200 before that or
Sure.
since, right? And so we would always have these things. So he would I would be in his living room and I would play for hours without my guitar plugged in. And he was like, how do you do that? How can you fucking do it? He goes, I need all of that distortion and shit. I'm like, no, you don't. But I always played for hours and hours without the guitar plugged in. So
That's why
he
your
goes,
rhythm is so. Your rhythm is unstoppable. It's you the tightest.
yeah, but my thing is the drummer. If the drummer
Yeah.
can't sit, if the
Mhm.
drummer can sit, then I sit slightly behind that, but right where that
Yes.
drummer has been. Then and if you got a drummer that can go all the way off, and he or she always knows where that one is, then I don't think that's what made Jimmy and Mitch so beautiful together. Because Mitch would go out into the
Sure.
stratosphere, and Jimmy was like, "This shit sounds crazy to me, but I'm gonna keep going."
Oh
And
yeah.
then Mitch would know where the one was again. He
Yeah.
would be out there, and he was just and he just would be out there, and then he would always know where the one was, and he would come back to the one. And I just thought you couldn't have created a drummer more perfect
Yeah.
for Hendrix. And
Exactly.
that's what
Yeah.
people don't look at. They don't realize that. They don't even think about that. But it's just like people talk about pitchers, like they was talking about this guy, he's like 6'9" or something, his brother. He was like, and they were talking about how hard he was to hit and all this shit. I think it was David Justice was talking about how hard he was to hit and all that. But what people forget, once again, it's not the pitcher that's calling the game. Who's calling the game? Who's calling the pitches?
The umpire.
No, the fucking catcher. They never
Oh,
talk about the
all
catcher.
right.
You can be the greatest pitcher in the world, but if you don't have a catcher that knows, that
That's true.
catcher knows
That's true.
every ball that who's ever coming up to the plate to hit. He knows what their favorite ball
Sure.
is to hit.
Hmm.
He's calling all that shit to get around them. The catcher has to know all of that shit.
You're right.
The
The
catcher,
ump gets
and
involved
they
if there's an
never, and
argument.
that's what
Right.
people, if you go back and look out throughout history, every dope ass guitar player had the baddest motherfucking drummer in the game. Jimmy Page, John Bonham,
All right.
Eric Clapton, Ginger Baker, Eddie
Yeah.
Van Halen, Alex Van
Yeah.
Halen.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
goes on and on.
You're
Jimi
right.
Hendrix, Mitch Mitchell. Because it's what the guitar is really driven off of. It's like if you listen to the Kinks, you really got me. Listen to the fucking drummer.
Oh yeah. I love the Kings. Hmm.
And listen to how his snare is popping.
Yep.
It's popping like a James Brown snare. So I'm telling you,
You're right.
you don't have a good drummer, shit ain't gonna go right.
Well, I got to second that. Yes. Amen. Now we
Preaching
Huh?
to the
finally
choir.
arrived.
Preaching to the choir.
Yeah.
No, if you don't, people don't realize if you don't have a great drummer and a bass player, you can be the
Yeah.
baddest cat there is because it was Ginger and Jack Bruce made Clapton sound doper than he actually was. That's why Clapton's never sound like that again.
Yeah, they pushed
He
it.
ain't never. He's no. There was just what that Jack Bruce was playing some crazy shit underneath him. He was doing that even in the
Mhm.
beginning of that song when you hear that boo 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 boo. He's playing that shit with Clapton. That like they do it now, and I think Clapton plays it by himself. But in that record, he boo doo 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 boo
Okay.
boo 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 boo, and it makes it
Yeah.
sound like an octave box or something. But it's just how Jack Bruce was just nasty. He just and then when they would do all that shit, he's playing all that shit on anything. Do 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 do. You can't even understand that shit he's playing. Pete Townsend, look
Yes.
at this. Look who he had on bass and drums.
Yeah. That
It's
was
like you
insanity. Yeah.
every fucking dope guitar player, they had a drummer and a bass. Look at that. Look at that cat from Zeppelin. The cat from Zeppelin, the bass player, was the most talented motherfucker in the band. Put all
Oh
the
yeah.
records together.
Bonham.
He was a cat with all the theory. No, the bass player.
Oh, I thought you said the
Yeah.
drummer.
John
Sorry.
Paul.
John Paul
John
Jones,
Paul
that
John
Jones.
Paul.
motherfucker, he was the one that was theory up the ass. That's how they put all
Hmm.
the records together. And like that one thing, it took them a really long time to record that part where he goes, when he goes, when they go,
Oh, Black Dog.
Mhm.
Right.
it took them a long time to record that part because that was some weird shit that Bonham kept going.
Hmm.
And they had to like sit on it. Oh man, I remember playing that song before I came to Minneapolis. I was in rock bands all up until that time I came to Minnesota. That's why I was cut from the cloth to be perfect for the time. Because I
Yes, sir.
asked Prince, I said, Morris, because what Morris never told him, I said I wanted to audition for, because I heard his bass player just quit, Andre quit. And I said, I wanted to audition for bass. And then I said, Morris, would you tell your friend I would like to audition for bass? And Morris like, yeah, yeah, yeah. But Morris was like, fuck that. Morris played a gig with me on guitar. But the guitar I had to learn, it was from Enterprise, but the guitar player that sat in was Prince. So on the cassette with Enterprise, Suan's singing, Morris is on drums and all that. But Prince is playing guitar. He was in
Right.
Enterprise, but he sat in with them at PJ Clarkson St. Paul. So when I came to Minnesota, I had to learn all of these parts off of from this band to play on these songs, and it was him playing. So I not until it was when the Time released. We released. What was that shit called? Original 7 or something like that.
Yeah, Original 7. Yeah.
Fucking hate that record. Anyway, can't fucking listen
What is
to
that,
that record.
Condensate?
I fucking hate that record
Yeah.
for some reason.
Yeah.
I
Right,
really know.
man.
I wrote a lot, and it doesn't matter. Anyway, he Morris. I never knew until that record came out. We did a thing at the Grammy Museum, and and Prince said, "You wouldn't be here." He said, Morris is on stage. Morris and I are sitting next to each other. Morris is sitting to the right, and Morris got the mic, and he goes, "You wouldn't even be here if Prince would have." He said, "No, I took that cassette and took out and strategically took out this, that, and just had played him you playing some rhythm." He said, "If he would have heard how you really would have fucking played, he wouldn't have hired you." And I was like,
Oh.
"That's so fucked up." But Morris told me that all of them years later. He said, "I didn't know he did that." And he never did mention the bass thing because Prince never knew I played bass until later. He walked. I was in there's a town by Minnesota that's a military town, Mike. I can't remember the name of it. It's like 45 minutes or an hour outside of it. And I was there with Enterprise and I was just running sound for them. But I went up and played bass. And somehow Prince and Morris found out and they showed up at that shit. And I was on bass and Prince came in and said, "Yeah, I heard that shit on bass. I knew it was your ass." He said, "I heard that shit outside. I was that ain't nobody from Minnesota playing that shit like that." Because we played between the three of us, we actually played different. We just played different from how everybody else played. It was weird.
Sure.
And my thing is, I'm so bored with what I do. I'm so fucking bored with what I
Yeah.
do that I'm always changing. That's why I have no two records that are the same. I'm always, and I have on this new album, I have stuff that I wrote. There's a song on there that I wrote, two songs on there that I wrote for Vanity Six that I never played them for Prince. They're actually way better than Bite the Beat. That's the thing that when you work with Prince, it was strange like that. You had to give him something that wasn't that good. It wasn't as good as it could be. No, really, because
No, I get it.
I
Yeah.
wrote Jungle Love. I gave him the 8-track of Jungle Love. Like Morris was saying on some show that I wrote the bass line. I said, "Excuse me, I wrote the whole fucking song except for
Right.
the lyrics."
Mm-hmm.
But
Hmm.
I handed him a cassette with that song done on 8-track, and it was way funkier. And so I never liked the version on the record. If y'all, well, the 8-track version is on Facebook, I think. I did upload that. I uploaded that
Yeah,
when
you
he
did.
was alive because I did it for somebody to say something to me to go like, "You need to take that, man. Go." I wish somebody would say something to me about that. I
Me too.
never,
Say something to Jesse. I want to see what's gonna happen.
but
Say
nobody,
something to Jesse.
no one said anything.
No, of course not.
But no, but it was a great thing. And then I think up until Prince died, I think I recorded my first album because other people, some of the girls were telling me that he thinks I recorded my record at his house, and I didn't have any of those songs. You know what song on my album that I recorded at his house is on my thing? That Nympho song. That's it.
Mm.
There's a song, that Nympho song. She's a nympho. Things in this alignment that and I
Yeah,
recorded that
it's
song.
called
Oh,
uh
she won't let go.
She
I'm
Won't
sorry.
Let Go. She Won't Let
Yeah.
Go. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
yeah.
that's the only song that I recorded at his house, and I don't even think I recorded. I didn't write lyrics there, but that track I did record at his house. But he never said anything to me, but he would say to other people he recorded. I should be getting royalties from
Yeah.
that. I recorded.
That's what I had heard. I had heard that
I
you.
didn't. On the
Okay.
soul. Listen,
Yeah.
on the souls of my babies, on the souls of my children, I did not
Yeah.
record that
I'm nobody.
anything.
You have no reason to lie to me, man. I'm
No,
just
I'm just
saying.
saying. I'm just
That's what he
saying.
was.
And in
He.
all honesty, if I
Yeah.
did, I did,
Mhm.
but I didn't.
Sure.
And what I
Yeah.
did record there was um, the one that's on the record, Ice Cream Castle.
Yes, I got you.
I
Mm.
recorded that there. And then we re-recorded it at Sunset Sound because Morris is playing drums, and then Michael, I'm playing drums on If the Kid.
Yeah, I had heard that from somebody, so that's true. I got it.
Yeah, Prince tried
Yeah.
to play it, and he kept speeding up. And you know how ballads are like the slower songs, you have to be in a weird place, and almost be sick to record the shit steady and not move. And then
Yeah.
Morris tried playing it and he was speeding up. And then they started drinking wine and they were still speeding up. And then I was like, I'll just try it. And I obviously sped up too. That's why that shit dives in and dives back in because
Oh.
it started on one tempo. But I did. I replayed that whole long ass drum track
Sure.
with to nothing. I don't even know what was playing. I just think he was just playing bass or something.
Uh,
But do you ever hear the International Lover? It's just him and Morris, and he's calling Morris all the cues.
Yeah. Well, because
Morris
it was
played.
supposed to be for Morris. That was supposed to be sung by Morris on a Time album,
No,
but then he took it
no, no,
back.
no. It wasn't never supposed to be done by
Well,
Morris that I know.
when he sang the lyrics, it was just like "Welcome to Morris International" or something like that.
No, I didn't. I ain't never heard that. It was always that was always his song because he used to play it in the house just on piano. But he knew that Morris. I'm just telling you, Morris is a beast on drums, man.
yeah, I love his playing.
Trying to remember where I heard it.
Motherfucker can really play, man. It's like he really, 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 and he never, and even if he don't play for 40 years, he goes sits on the drums and it's all right there.
Yeah, I saw some footage like from last year or the year before that Bean got up and Morris sat down and he was just funking.
Yeah, Morris ain't no joke, man.
Yeah.
I wish I could jam with him one of these days. I wanted to jam with them really bad at
Celebration.
Paisley.
That
Yeah,
would've
but
been
then I
legendary.
didn't. I wanted to before we ever played, then I didn't because I was like, oh,
Yeah.
I really would love to jam with him on drums, though. He's amazing. Jesus, he can fucking play drums, man. In the drums, you notice when he sit on the drums, it sounds like a whole nother set of drums.
Yeah, absolutely.
And his son, his youngest kid, can play drums like that too.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you for the people in the chat room. They're saying that the version of International Lover that I'm referring to is the one that they released on the Super Deluxe edition of 1999. I'll have to send. I don't know if you've heard that, but he does say
Morris is playing on Controversy too.
Yeah,
he's playing on Controversy and Less Work actually.
Yes.
And I'm singing.
Yes.
I'm singing on 1999 and playing guitar. But I don't get
the wah-wah on the right side, right?
Yeah, but I don't get credit though. And then somebody said, no, Jamie Shoup said, no, that JJ is you. And I go, nah, I think that was Jill Jones. But she said, no, Jill Jones said it was you. It wasn't her, it was you. But we're all singing, and how I know I'm singing on it, because we're all on one mic. Prince, Jill Jones, and I are all, when he's doing that, I got a line in my pocket and ready where we're like singing, we're singing that shit, and then we go into a party and we're clapping and all that stuff at the same time.
Yeah. No, that wah-wah track, man, makes the whole song for me, man. Sometimes I'll just listen to you. I just listen to you. I just listen to that.
But I'm not, if there's other stuff going on the wah-wah, that's not me. I'm just doing one note. Like I used to play one note on stage with D'Angelo. Like, Chicken Grease goes, ding, 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 right? Ding, 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 ding. I would go, bam. That's it. There's a part it goes ding, 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 bam, bam. I just played one of them notes. I was like, man, this is the boring. I was like, ding, 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 boom, boom. Then the other guy plays the other note. I'm like, this is all I'm playing was one note. Because Jeff Lee Johnson told me that. He said, man, I played one note. Ding, 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 boom. I'm like, just boom. That's it. Boom. I'm like, oh, that's crazy. Why am I playing one note? This is insane.
Wow. Jeff Lee, man. Wow. I forgot that you guys, did you guys get to know each other at all? Or was it just.
Yeah. Jeff was a sweetie.
Yeah, man.
Jeff was just, Jeff was really blue all the time because he's the love of his life. He lost his wife in a car wreck.
Yeah.
And he was just never the same after that.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
But y'all want to hear something weird? When I was a kid in Chicago, I used to go to the Black Panther breakfast thing.
Yeah.
And there was a girl there. She was pretty young too. She was a teenager or something too. But we used to call her Miss Yvette. You know who I think that was?
That got to be Shaka Khan.
That's who I think it was.
I was going to say, you guys.
I've been around her. Like, I did stuff on her records and stuff. I just always wanted to ask her that, but I don't want to go, motherfucker, were you? But I always wanted to. Were you Miss Yvette when I was in Chicago?
Yeah, she worked she worked the breakfast program. I've seen her speaking about it.
Yep.
But
I
she was a
heard of the
kid
interview
too.
too.
She was a little older than us, but she was a kid too. And we used to be like, Miss Yvette.
Yeah, her middle name is Yvette.
Thank you, Miss Yvette. And
Yeah,
always went in. It looks like her because it always looks like her to me. Because I always like because I see Nicki Minaj young, and I always go like, she
yeah.
looks like Miss Yvette too.
You're right. Nicki Minaj and Shaka got a little favor. Yeah,
Yeah, I'm like, wow. So you think that was her when I was a kid?
I'm almost positive, Jesse.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah, she said that she
she was a
did that
Black
in some
Panther.
interviews. Yeah,
Mhm.
she's mentioned that a couple times. I don't know if it was the same time that you're referring to, but could well have been.
Yeah,
Well, I was pretty fucking little though. I was pretty little. She was always, even as an adult, she's always so loving and sweet to me.
yeah.
She's
Mm-mm.
such a, oh man, I tell people for real, it's like it's she's so beautiful that when you sit next to her, like I sat next to her one time, I did a I she had an album that won a Grammy, and I did a song on there, and I did the entire song, but the way it got credited, you think I just came in and did guitars, stealing ass motherfuckers. But I recorded the whole song, and it was a Hendrix song called "Castles Made of
That's
Sand."
right. It's on the Funk This record. I know who
I,
you're talking about. Okay, man.
yeah, you know who I'm talking
Yeah,
about,
I'm not. Hey,
thieving
all right.
motherfuckers. But yeah,
Yes. Well.
I performed that whole thing, and so when I brought it into her, she was at Flight Time out here, and
Yeah.
but I had never been in a Flight Time before, so I brought the thing over to Terry, like a DVD with a session on it, and was about to leave, and he said, "Oh, say hi to Shaka," but I didn't see her anywhere, and I said hi, and she goes, "Hey, hi," but I didn't see her anywhere. Then Terry pressed the talk back and said, She was singing some more. Then he pressed the talk. He stopped. And he said, "You gonna sing that note?" He said, "You want to sing that note?" Shaka goes, "I sang it, didn't I?" You better leave her the fuck
Yeah.
alone.
Oh,
I was
absolutely.
like, I was already, then I was in love with her. After that, she's like, that's a note you want to sing or something like that.
Uh-huh.
And she said, "I sang it, didn't I?"
Boy. Nope. That's shocking.
Oh, God. I was like, and she came out of that room, and let me tell you something. She sat next to me to the left of me, and I played her, you know that song on the verbal that goes boom, bam, boom? That it goes do 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 boop, but did boop do na 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 na. I played her, but it didn't have I don't think it had vocals on it. It might have just had a rough on it. And I played her that, and she went, "Oh my God," because she's Chicago, and so I
Oh
knew
yeah.
that shit
Mhm.
would make sense. But she lost it. So she lost it. It was like I didn't know people even wrote music like that. Da, 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 da. But she looked at me. She looked to her right and smiled at me, man. And it was like the sun. It was like the roof open in the building. The
Yes.
sun.
Yes, sir.
She is like
Mhm.
she has a really cool energy vibe. You know who was like that too at the White House? Not only is she's that tall, she's a giant, her presence and all that, but when you see her, she just has this presence. The Michelle Obama is like that.
I believe that. Yeah.
She really is. I saw
Mhm.
her walk. She had just came from the hair shop too, and she walked past in a cashmere overcoat, and she came walking through real fast, and you just saw her from the side, from the side go by, and just like, I was instantly scared. So
Instantly
scared,
scared.
man. I was so scared. And then she's taller than Obama, she's taller than the president. And
Yeah.
was really cool lady, real. And then Taraji and her were talking about they went to the same school as them. Taraji said, "How did you get through that last year?" And she was like, "Girl, I was taking home ec. It was just so cool to see all that shit, man, to be
Take
right
it
there.
home with.
Because Taraji was there. She was there beautiful and stuff too. It was really cool. It was really cool. And then
That's all right.
my wife at the time, her and Obama are from the same neighborhood in Milwaukee, Chicago. So they knew a lot of the same stuff, and they was chatting because he saw her the next day and said, "Oh, you clean up nice," and she was like, "Oh, you clean up nice." And then the thing that the one of the biggest eye opening things for me, I used to heard how Jeff Beck was just like slap. He's just like real antisocial. He was just a sweetheart.
Ah, yeah.
He was such a sweetheart,
Mhm.
and then they stopped when you first come in the White House. It's security up the ass, and so they they have us standing there and they're telling us all the shit not to do. It's like whatever you do, don't sit anything on anything because the White House is really a museum, and they don't take it. You can't take any pictures. You can't. They told us all that shit the minute that guy
Yeah.
got done with us, and we walked by a little bit. Mick Jagger took out his iPhone and held that shit up and just filmed everything. It's like, fuck
Oh yeah.
you. He
Mhm.
filmed. Everyone was so cool. It was such a great experience, and where the bass player was is where I was, but I didn't want to stand there because I knew it's televised, and I don't like to be seen on TV playing behind people. I don't. I
Yeah.
really don't. I know. I just wanted that shit on my resume, and I wanted to be able to say I was there. And I was there when the second black president was there. No, we've had black. He was probably the 10th black president in true honesty. But
Well, hey.
I wanted to be there for that one, and I just knew that the phones were ringing off the hook. It was so many people begging to be on that shit, man. And they found I was actually in Europe somewhere with D'Angelo, and they asked me. I was not even in the country, and they said, "Hey, we want you to play at the," because they knew I knew blues and all that shit, in and out, and I landed in L.A. for like a day, and then flew out the next morning. I was so tired, man. I had been in Europe for over a month with D. It was in 2012. It was fun though. It was
Yeah.
it was fun, and I didn't want to. Reason why, because I called my girl and I said, should I do that?" And she was like, "Hell yeah, we go." She was. I did all that for her. I did. I really did. I did the White House and all that. But that's why I didn't care about being seen and none of
Right
that
on, man.
shit.
Yeah.
I just
Sure.
really wanted to go there, and because I walked down and I was talking to the president, and Mick didn't know the in and Mick, they're British, so they didn't know the ins and out of how DC is. Like it's not a state; it's just a district, and you can't say anything political in DC about anybody. And so Mick had wrote these lyrics that said some stuff about Newt Gingrich, and then I told him, "Yeah, you won't be able to say that here. You can't say anything. You have to be a neutral when you're inside of the White House." That's what makes by law, that's what makes everything that Trump does just suck fucking garbage. Anyway, because he does a lot of lowball shit. But anyway,
Yeah.
so Mick gave those lyrics. They were handwritten. He gave them to Obama, and I'm standing by Obama, and Obama showing me. Can you believe look what he said about so and so and so? Look what he said. Obama was cracking up, and then Obama said to me, he said, his daughter's bedroom was right up above the ballroom. And he said, I was upstairs with my daughters doing their homework. And I said, man, that sounds like Jeff Beck. And he came down and it was Jeff Beck. And he just
Oh yeah.
tripped. He
Mm.
did. He tripped. And then the thing about him, he had on, those house shoes that Ice Cube had on, Boys in the Hoods, those corduroy house shoes? He
Oh
had on those. He had
yeah.
on those blue jeans and like a V-neck little sweater.
Oh
So we
no.
got we got to hang, off the cuff, and up until then they had never had anything in the White House. We were actually we went out on the
I see.
lawn. That's why George Lopez, when they had that Latin thing, George would say, it's nice to be here at the White House outside. He goes outside on the lawn. George kept going, digging it in. But we were actually in that bitch, man, and it was cool. It was really cool. And I remember looking out and looking out in the audience and seeing this girl that's just one of the I don't want to say she's underrated and all that stuff, but she's like one of the dopest female singers probably walking on earth. Like, the girl named Lettucey?
Yeah, she's
Mhm.
great.
Yeah.
And she's
Great
a
singer.
sweetheart. I was once in a studio with her. I heard her do something that just completely blew my mind, fucked me up. And then I know that this other girl is no joke. Uh, Fantasia. No, 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 no. I know no Fantasia ain't no joke.
Mhm.
But I heard Fantasia do this song. It was a song that Ray Sadiq wrote. And he has all that vintage shit, drums. He got all them old ass cymbals that sound like trash cans, but when you
Yep.
record them,
Uh-huh.
they sound. He got all that shit set up at his place. Fantasia did this song, man. Your heart would fall on the floor. That girl is like them. Both of them,
Yeah.
they are they're anointed. They on some whole, like, people don't even know,
Mm-hmm.
because Lettucey is like God. I mean, I seen her hit notes and she doesn't even frown, and I'm like, damn.
Oh yeah.
But with all this said and done, whining this bullshit, all I'm talking about down, just so fucking how lucky I've been in my life, man. Like, I'm no, really. I've been all over the world so many times. I don't even remember. People that say a name that you ever been there, and I go, yeah, I actually have a few times. I was there and it was daylight, 24 hours a day, and all that craziness. But you've been everywhere. I've been so lucky. Um, these hands and this six strings have taken me everywhere that I never dreamed of. Like you guys don't even know. Guess what my dreams were, y'all? Y'all want to hear my dreams?
Sure.
My dreams were like, man, if I could just be down there on a corner at that pub playing guitar for a living. That was the height of what I wanted.
Wow. Well, let me just say,
So I've surpassed that about 43 million times.
and we're blessed for it because let
Yes,
me
sir.
tell you, man, I've you've heard me gush over you many, many times online and offline, and I know that most of the people here in the chat room feel the exact same way. That it's just been amazing that you have been the conduit of music that you have, and we're super excited about hearing the new material. Hopefully sooner rather than later.
Oh
But
no, it's
again,
down. It's down by law now. I have to be done. It is
yeah.
no. It is no, 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 no. When the money people go, yo, hey, then it's done.
Hmm.
It has to be done. It will be done. I promise you.
And
Without
we're
a
waiting for the
doubt.
right season. I know you're waiting for the right season,
I'm
so
not waiting
that's all
for any
good.
season. I just want to be. I gotta get to a place where I'm not so affected by what's going on outside because I'm telling you, I'm starting to talk like Elon Musk right now.
Well, that's a season.
No, I
That's
just
the
don't.
season, though.
I just want, yeah, but I want everybody, who doesn't want to see the world happy. This bullshit that's going on there. Y'all lucky y'all ain't seeing all this ice shit though.
Yeah, I know.
It's enough
It's
to make you drive up on the curve through somebody's front yard trying to run these
man.
fucking devils over. It's fucked up. Anyway,
Oakland show.
I'm on a yes.
Hear
That
it.
Thursday 90 minutes. What a coup. Yeah, right. I have to really say I'm doing 90 minutes. I'm doing no fucking 75 minutes. I'm the only act that night. I'm doing 90. Should be doing
eh,
100 and I should be doing 120.
You
But
should be
Thursday.
doing whatever you want to be doing.
Right. Yeah.
You're
Yeah. You and
Jesse
I.
Johnson.
shit.
Yeah. You and I have talked about this before, and we talked about it when you were dealing with the celebration. The amount of time that you were going to get to play, and you said you have to have a certain period of time where you can take people on a journey and deliver the I guess to deliver the
The
amount of
shit
music you
they
want.
want to hear, what they
Exactly.
want to hear. You can't. That's
Right.
not even enough tough. You can't even say, "Hey, baby, how y'all doing? Y'all look so beautiful." Blah blah blah. Thank you for coming out. You ain't even no time to say that. I actually said something on the mic when I was there. My front house engineer Manye, he has a way of talking to me that nobody else hears. It. He said, "Hey, look at the thing you got to da 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 da." And I said, "Okay." I said, "So I'm out of time," and I didn't mean to say that on the mic, whispering, and everybody went like, "Oh no!" And then what was so beautiful, they when we left, they went on for 15 minutes for us to do an encore. And I didn't hear any of that because I had left and went back in that room, and my children were there with their children and their children, and who was somebody else. It was so many people in my room. I loved it though. It was total chaos. I just did love it. Then when Morris and them started playing, it was really cool. Then I heard Gigolos Get Lonely too. I played on that song. I played guitar on that song, by the way. But I heard that song and it got so depressed. It wasn't. I didn't expect that. That shit really hit me hard. That I'm in this house that Prince built and he ain't here, and Morris and I are there. It's just weird. I know y'all don't understand it, but
Don't understand.
No,
if y'all only knew then how 81, how the three of us were always fucking inseparable. We were Prince used to have a Fiat Spider. It didn't have a back seat. He would be driving, Morris would be in the passenger, and I would be in this little spot behind the two seats, crunched up, and we would just be in that shit going out somewhere.
yeah.
And I remember him coming up to me at this club. Mike was too young to know this club. It was called The Taste.
Yeah, I don't know the taste.
He don't know the taste. Mike was at home somewhere, and then Sonny was downstairs There was a downstairs in the taste, right, Mike? And Sonny would be doing a single by himself.
Really?
Like he would be by himself. He'd be playing bass, and because Sonny is like crazy. Sonny can play all these. He can play a song with chords all on bass, and you hear the chords and everything. But
Oh wow,
Sonny was
you're right.
downstairs,
Yeah.
so. Watch this part right here, Mike. You got to ask Sonny about this shit because you know I ain't lying because you do know Sonny T. So I don't know
Yeah.
Sonny yet. I don't know Sonny at all. So I'm upstairs and Suan's going, let me introduce, let's go downstairs and introduce you to Sonny. And so I'm upstairs with Morris Prince. We're upstairs. And then Suan, I see Suan because Suan's an Enterprise. I know Suan from Enterprise. Let me get Sonny. I go down to meet Sonny. Sonny's drinking. Sonny's like, Prince is upstairs. Fucking kill him. Beat that motherfucker. This. I was like, I was scared. I was so scared of Sonny. I was like, man, what the fuck is
You
wrong?
know,
And then the more he was drinking, the more madder he would get. He said, Mama, fuck him up. We would be, and then Prince would come in there and he would just still be looking at him crazy. I would be
oh yeah.
so fucking nervous. But check this out though, Chris. These were the days. So we would leave the taste. We'd leave the taste, right? The three of us in that little ass car. So guess where we go to? And everybody that left the club goes there. We used to go to that White Castle on Lake Street.
Oh yeah.
And
I got
dig
this.
though, but dig. It wasn't like that's what I'm telling you. That's why I didn't have a sense of like people would now have a sense of Prince this and Prince that. He wasn't like that. Even though he was famous and he had successful records, he had a fucking platinum album under his belt with the second album.
Sure.
But he was in Minneapolis. He didn't roll. It wasn't no bodyguards. It wasn't none of that shit. So we went to White Castles, and he would go in. We'd all be in inside of White Castle. It would be everybody and their mama would be up in there, because that's what white
Yes.
people say. White people would walk in and go, "It's very busy in here." Black people walk in, everybody and their mama up in this bitch.
Everybody and their mama.
And so we would all be in there like that, just ordering like it wasn't shit. And
Yes,
and, and
yes.
it's weird. And so those are the things that I miss more
Mm.
than anything. I miss
Yes.
that more than
Yeah.
anything because you just never knew. You didn't know anything about history when you don't know. You don't notice anything about history when you're making it. But I miss the three of us. I really do because you don't understand. If y'all could have, we were just so. If y'all, there was a Rolling Stone magazine. I just can't remember. Prince was on the cover, and it was before the one that him and Vanity was on the cover. It was before that, but he's on the cover and we're in like I don't know where we're at, but we're somewhere up on La Brea now that I try to figure it. I think we're at a Ralph's or something. You gotta understand, I'm from Rock Island. Rock Island, like my tour manager Karin thought I was lying when I said no. I'm from a town that's the population is 25,000 people, and she thought, and I hate saying stuff to her because why are you talking to her? She's already researching it and looking up, and she said, "Guess how many people are there now?" I said, "What?" She goes, 26,000. I said, I
One
told
more
you I was
thousand.
very
Nothing's
smart.
Wow.
We
nothing's
don't have
changed.
we didn't have a freeway or anything. We had what was called an interstate. I don't know what the difference is, but Minneapolis was like the shock of I was scared to death to drive there, go out. It was so massive to me, and you could see where you needed to be, and you couldn't figure out how to get. Oh my God!
Yeah.
Surprised I just didn't have a heart attack in that city. It was just so massive. Anyway, that's what I miss that we were just it was just it was just the three of us. And even when Morris went off to do his thing and it was the two, it was just always Prince and I would come to LA together and all that. You just kind of you miss it's not the hanging and all that stuff. I can't explain. It was the music. It was like we were so music. We
Yeah.
would from head to toe, our clothes, our everything. We was just so music and everything. We got in the car, we listened to this. Look, we would listen to Slide. There's a riot going on. And Prince and I would listen to that shit for like 4 or 5 hours, 6, 8 hours straight.
Oh yeah.
8 hours. We would just listen to it over. It was like the Dead Sea. It was like the Dead Sea Scrolls of funk. It was like
Yes.
it because he did things on that record that like when you hear Jay Dilla and them or D'Angelo and them play behind the beat, he did all that shit on that record way back then. Listen
Yes.
to like a baby. He goes, whoa, go, 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 go. That shit is so far behind, but he's in time. He was just,
Yeah.
and then I had a #1 record with that cat, man. He was used to call me in the middle of the night and be like, yeah, baby boy, da 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 da. He was like really, really cool. He was just a real sweetheart to me. Sly was. He was
Right
really,
on, man.
and that day that
Mm.
he passed, man, I felt that. I felt that. I
Yeah.
really fucking felt that because it's like, that's like the thing that I was saying earlier in the conversations about getting honored and this, that, and that, and this, and it's like that's cool, but the people that you would want to be there and be proud of you and say that shit to you and show they're all gone. They're all every one of them are gone. Every one of them are gone. One guy I knew most of my life and growing up in the quad. His name was Robbie Muskie Valley, and he passed away like last year and stuff. And it's just like, I swear, I please don't think I'm grateful and don't see me as being ungrateful, but I'm just telling you, the people that it would mean the most to me to see that, you know, are gone,
Mm.
are gone, are gone, are gone, are gone.
Yeah.
So, see, that's one thing you guys can really depend on me. I can bring down a whole fucking situation so bad.
Oh, you're not bringing it down, man.
No,
You're being real. I mean, it's real, but I mean,
you know, it's funny that you mentioned that too, because I'm sorry, Michael, go ahead.
no,
You
go
were the
ahead.
thought.
Go
No,
ahead. No, I'm good.
because you were mentioning, it's just reflection, because one of the questions that I had on here, we didn't get to anything, which is fantastic because I love when you just kind of go. I just love letting you flow and hearing your stories. Unfettered or unsolicited is amazing.
Yeah.
But I did have, that question is like, your focus on this album was really to kind of make sure that you got it down, because you reflected on that before, that you really feel like that it's important that you get these songs
I
done and get them out.
there's two guys I say this to. I say it to Pino Palladino and I say it to D'Angelo. And I
Yes.
go and I say to him, I said, whenever we talk, whenever I talk, I said, we're last of the Mohicans, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we're
Yep.
last of the Mohicans. And
Mhm.
what that means is people can say whatever they want to about me, him, or anybody else. But the way I move, ain't nobody ever gonna move like that again.
That's right.
Ain't nobody ever gonna, I don't give a fuck. You can study my shit backwards, forwards, and this and
Hmm.
that and that and this. That's why the Jimi Hendrix, when people play Jimi Hendrix's music, they play Purple Haze, they play Foxy Lady. They don't fuck with a lot of that shit off of Cry of Love. You know
Hmm.
why? Because that shit's funky. And you gotta have a sense of rhythm that
That's
will
right.
not stop. You don't hear people playing and covering that shit. I understand why a lot of there's you can close your eyes, poke yourself in both of them if you want to, and open your eyes, and there's 9 million young white guitar players of all different ages and sizes playing Stevie Ray Vaughan, because that's something they can get to. But this other stuff, man, when you listen to I can't even explain it, man. You listen to a fucking Muddy Waters track when I just was listening to this live Muddy Waters thing online, and just you never again. You will never ever hear that again. So just be grateful and thankful that you witnessed a Michael Jackson, a Prince, a
Oh
Time,
yeah.
a Rick
Absolutely.
James,
Yes.
Luther Vandross. You'll never, that shit ain't never going, because it doesn't, because there's something about the environment isn't growing, isn't, it's not watering people
Hmm.
to be individuals anymore. It's
Yeah.
watering people to copy. I mean, like, you have to be of a certain age to tell the difference between this female singer, that female singer, because they all sound the same to me. They're all singing the same licks. Everybody's naked. I don't know. I just saw really, and I saw this girl. I won't say her name, but I saw her on a commercial with this fold out phone, and she was all, she wasn't naked, but she had her legs and all that stuff on. She's a beautiful sister. She's gorgeous. She's gorgeous. Legs all shiny. She's beautiful. But why should she have to be naked to sell a phone? It's just some weird stuff. But that's just my own hang up, because because when I went and came into it myself, I was young enough to have my shirt off and oiled up and all that stuff. But I didn't want to be known. I didn't want that to be what I sell. I wanted to sell it I wanted to sell it on my music um alone. Yes, 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 yes. You want yourself, without a doubt, only a moron doesn't want himself to be appealing to the opposite sex. So of course I wanted my personality, my face, my whatever it be, to be appealing to the opposite sex. But I swear to God, I used to come off a stage, man, on a sold out show that when we were doing all that big stuff, I would come off a stage and girls was like, "Oh my God, you're so cute." And that did zero for me. Even back then, I would want them to go, "Man, you really burnt that down. You played your ass off." That's what you want to hear. That's
Mm.
what you want to hear. And you don't hear that. And that's what and that's just that inside thing for me, that I knew for a fact that I was really, really 100% about the music.
Hmm.
I wasn't about being cute. I was a cute kid, so I'd been cute a good part of my life. That wasn't new. I wasn't. So when girls started to know me, it's really hilarious, man. But that's the other thing about the honor thing in that town. It's like you would be somewhere doing your thing, and you see a girl and go hi, not rapping to her or anything, because you're passing each other. She's walking that way, you're walking away, you say hi, and she just looked right in my face and kept walking. And then when I went there to play in '85 at the Call Ballroom, and that same girl who was Miss Black Quad Cities almost got hit by a car trying to run across the street to get my autograph. But I don't say anything to people because I know no, because I know she doesn't remember any of that. But I always
Sure.
remember that, and I see those same people, and I just kind of shake my head a little bit. I've never once said anything to anybody. Oh, you didn't know me. Now you know. I never said any stupid shit like that because none of that
Sure.
even matters. It's just it's just one of those little life lesson things that you kind of go, this is how you learn how people can be and how people are. That's all. But
Can
yeah,
I ask you a question, Jesse?
yeah,
Um, did did because I mean it's well known that D'Angelo came out with like the sexiest video of all times, with his body
Untitled.
naked on a rotisserie, and I've heard speculation that it really kind of affected his perspective on what he was doing completely. I mean, it um in the way you're saying you didn't the compliments about your looks
yeah.
didn't really have an effect.
I never had that kind of thing backfire on me, like, because I've never done that, but it backfired on him really bad. I've witnessed it. I witnessed the first time
Okay,
I
so
went out with
you've
him.
seen it. Yeah, okay.
When in 2012, it bothered him in such a great it bothered him in such a bad way that as an example, as an example, he we would be let me just say, like, we'd be in, name a place, Stockholm. We'd be in Stockholm, place is sold out, blah 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 blah, and these little young girls would be there, and they'd have a sign, and the sign would just say untitled.
Mm.
Oh, oh
And
boy.
he wouldn't play. And for some reason, all 2012, 13, 14, he wouldn't play Untitled on stage. I never played that with him until we left.
Uh-huh.
I went to Australia with him, Australia and New Zealand, and I asked him beforehand. I said, have you been here before? And he said, no. And I said, are you out your motherfucker, man? We got to play these hits, man. And da 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 da. Because I thought he had been there, but he had never been there. And I told him I was showing him some old stuff of mine that I had number one records. Crazy was a number one record in Australia.
Yes,
And
sir.
what people don't know about that, what's huge about that, Australia is ultra white.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So for a black person to have a number one record there, that's not, and don't get me wrong, it wasn't the crazy that it was some watered down house mix bullshit, but it was number one
That's all right.
there. It was number one. Y'all, yeah, I hear you, Mike. I'll take it. I'll take it. It was
Hmm.
number one record there, and I was showing him that, and I said, no, you cannot go there. And he thought I didn't know what I was talking about. Instinctually, I really do know some things and how things move. Do I know everything? Absolutely fucking not. But when it comes to doing this shit,
Oh yeah.
like when I said at Paisley, when I was going there on the 6th, I said everybody's gonna be R&B, R&B, R&B. I said I'm gonna open with my rock shit because that'll make this shit go.
Yes, sir.
I'm gonna make it go where I need it to go, not where somebody's expecting me to go or can predict what I'm gonna do with it. Anyway, I told him we needed to do it, and he did. It was the only time because I was here in LA, he was in New York, and I said, what are we playing? And I said, because I need to know what we're playing so I can learn that shit. Now I don't want to be trying to learn that shit in rehearsal. He goes, no, no, no. Questlove and I already went over this. I said, great. I still need to know. And he was running down the list, and I said, are you crazy? I said, man, we'll get canned tomatoes thrown at us if we go over there and you don't play all your shit that they left and right, one more again and all that. So he put all that stuff in the show,
Uh-huh.
and he pulled out a weird, obscure song for us to open to, and it was Miss Lucifer's Love by It's a old funky. I've never heard that song
Yeah,
before, but John Blackwell was with us. He was on drums. The one time I got to
that's right.
play, we
Wow.
played
Yeah.
that whole tour. Blackwell was on drums, and so
Yes, sir.
I was loving that because Blackwell and I in rehearsals in New York, we were just like having a lot of fun playing this and playing that. And I kept telling Blackwell,
Mhm.
don't put Pino in your monitors, just play. And he kept putting, because it's natural for the drummer to follow the bass or to stay close to him. And the way Pino plays, he's way behind the drums.
Yeah.
The way D's stuff is,
Hmm.
and I think that's what threw it off for Blackwell. But it was the most fun I'd ever had in D'Angelo's band was when Blackwell was in the band and he was playing his
Awesome.
ass off, and just the power. Because I remember being in Australia, I had Marshalls, and just he was just power. It was just like boom boom, like it was like a herd of buffaloes. Because he opened the show, it was like because that Miss Lucifer Love was like that. It was
Yeah.
like and was just like, and I was like, God. And I remember walking out and playing that. I had to open with this reverb, this feedback. Sorry. And he's like, then D counts in and we go, do the Eddie Hazel part. But yeah, it was just like that motherfucker was killing the drums, man. And then in
Yes,
some of
sir.
the cities we were roommates. We had these double floor hotel rooms, and him and I was roommates. And he would always disappear and go gamble. His whole thing was he loved gambling. He would go gamble, come back and like, Jesse, look, I won this money. I won. He was a funny dude, but man, that dude could fucking rock some drums. But
Yes, sir.
uh, but I told you, I said, this shit isn't gonna work. I said, I knew everything I was talking about. I said, you know what your record sells for as an import? What Voodoo sells for as an import? He goes, what? $100. Say, dude, you got to blah 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 blah. I'm going on and on. So he didn't believe me. So he did put all the right songs in there, but he kept trying. He put in "She's Always in My Hair." He played that because they had that in a movie somewhere. He played that. That shit went down like a lead balloon. They didn't give a fuck about that because if Prince wasn't playing it, they don't want to play your shit. That's one thing about I learned about that crowd. And then he tried to do charade, which wasn't out, wasn't over there, wasn't out. They didn't That shit went over like a lead balloon because they knew they had starved for so many years of waiting to see him, and he's finally there. They want to hear the shit they've been banging to.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And when he finally I'm telling you, because they kept trying these other songs on encores, and they tried the charade, but no, She's Always in My Hair. They just the audience turned wooden, and he know. But the way we did Untitled, it was the last song of the night, and he would always go to the mic and sing. And I said, no, D, don't do that. I said, don't do that. I said, go to the mic, because we do that. I'm doing that. Well. I'm playing the guitar, shit. That shit's all echo and pretty. And I said, then we would go, vroom, and he would walk to the mic and go, "Zump, but he walked to the mic. I said, don't sing, just go to the mic, and you're too in pain to sing. And he's
Yeah.
like, what? He's like, what? I'm not kidding y'all. Let me tell
That's
you,
right.
turned that motherfucker. He'd go to the mic and he would go, and turn away, and I was like, dude, y'all don't even fucking know how much shit Prince and I used to go game. Prince would always, like, I used to never wear eyeliner and all that shit, and Prince was like, you gotta do this, put the eyeliner on like this, and you gotta do this, and you gotta da da da, and you gotta dance really hard, because if you dance really hard, then chicks will be thinking you can, and all that crazy shit. But we would just be gaming. We would just be
Sure.
gaming, and not only gaming, but motherfucker was really teaching me. He was like James Brown or something, and I'd be like Jackie Wilson, and he was like, no, you don't want to do it like that, man. You want to, and it was just like tricks of the trade and all that stuff. Because I heard him and Morris one time talking. I was in a room, but I wasn't in a conversation. I heard Morris say, "Isn't it crazy, man, how much attention Jesse gets, and he doesn't even sing anything. He doesn't say anything." And
Right.
Prince was like, "Yeah, that shit is crazy." But that's why I said I would be remiss if I didn't thank those guys for seeing something that
Sure.
I didn't see. I didn't see. I was just guitar player and happy about it. But it's like you just everything you learn, man, and to keep that shit high level, keep your dress, your just everything was. It's like when he used to do that "Why Don't You Call Me" song or something like that.
How come you
Yeah.
don't call me anymore?
Yeah, and people, I don't. It's weird how nobody ever caught because they wasn't paying attention to Ray Charles back then. They would now because of Jamie Foxx, but all of that shit he was doing at the piano, all that side to side, that was all Ray Charles. He loves Ray Charles. Oh man, he knew everything about Ray Charles. He used to go like, look, watch how Ray Charles finds this guy right here. He would, man, I have to look at all of those movies with him
Oh yeah.
and all them concerts. Ray Charles was like no joke, and
Hmm.
he just knew he was doing. He was still in everything, and that's what you're supposed to do.
That's right.
Well,
You're supposed to still at least check out everything.
Yeah.
And
Get
I
the
think
good stuff. Yeah.
but I think where people fuck up now is that people don't their knowledge just goes is about as shallow as a bird bath. They don't go deep. They don't look at James. They look at James Brown as an example. Say if we just looked at James Brown, or let me put myself in the picture. So if I listen to Jimi Hendrix, instead of me listening to Jimi Hendrix and just being a stamp, a copy of that, I listened to who he said he listened to.
Mm.
And so when he was like Muddy Waters, this and he said he would always say Howlin' Wolf, and I was like, Howlin' Wolf, he don't play guitar like that. But it was Hubert Sumling who I met. I met
Yes.
Hubert in Chicago
Mm.
at Buddy Guy's Legend. And he's a real sweetheart. But I listened to everybody that Hendrix listened to. I the people he talked about, Dylan, and so what you end up doing if you listen to the same influences, but you chew them up and regurgitate them, it's going to be something different when you spit them out. But if you, right now, people don't do that. They just go and they try to copy who that person is right here in front of them, and they don't go
Hmm.
do any depth. It's like if you try
Yes,
to
sir.
be, because that's why I kind of always liked the Gaga girl, because at least
She
because
was her own artist. She did her own thing.
no,
Yeah.
she took. Are you kidding me? The girl that she came from was that lady was lady something. She took the lady's name and everything. She used to play behind this artist, this singer in New York when she was a kid, and the lady was called Lady something, and she just took all of that knowledge of that shit and
Mhm.
then blended into a whole bunch of it. But she wasn't like Madonna, like people tried to say. She's like Madonna. I'm like, no, the fuck, she's not. That girl is like on her own thing, and she can fucking play, because Taylor sells a ton of records, but Taylor can't play piano like Lady Gaga can actually fucking play piano, man. Come
hmm
on. Come on. I think that's what everybody
or
was.
or sing.
Well, and I
Yeah.
know the guy who was playing acoustic guitar backstage while she was out there with hers unplugged. So.
Yeah, but it's just, the thing is
Ooh.
that Gaga had enough, she had enough um she did her due diligence. She went below the surface of what people were instead of just taking the surface. She went below it and said, who are there and who are they influenced? If I like her, who does she listen to? And people don't do that
Sure.
now.
Mm.
They don't do that now. That's why you don't know who rapping on it. It's a different things. But I always blame the record companies for that because during the '90s, the record companies really started that. They started perpetuating that clone theory, where they would say, "I wanna." Blah blah blah. I want to because I remember when Ready for the World came out, and people used to think it was me or Prince all the time, and they used to say to me because I remember my wife's name was Sheila, and they used to go, "Did he write that about you?" And she goes like, "He didn't write that song."
Yeah, it's
But
Melvin Riley.
I
No.
know, but
Yeah,
people when you and
yeah.
so what and how that and Melvin wrote really cool songs. He wrote some really cool songs, but the where the where
hmm
the problem is that when you stamp somebody's shit that hard, when you copy somebody's shit to that degree. And so as an example, we played the Philadelphia Spectrum where Dr. J and all them played. We sold that out for an entire 5 days in a row. It might have been 6 days, but it was
Who's
5 days
we?
in a row. Luther Vandross was the
Oh,
headline. I was in the middle, and Ready for the World was opening. And they got booed atrociously every single night.
really?
I remember talking to Melvin every night, and because he was just like couldn't take it, he was just gonna quit the tour. And I was like, you can't. The Rolling Stones got booed. Everybody got booed. It's like you
Yeah.
can't.
Hmm.
And so, but they would boo him. And so what I learned really quick on that tour is that you never want your music to be bigger than you. You want to be bigger than your music.
Mm.
Meaning people see me sometimes and they'll go, "Oh, hey, you're but they can't tell you a fucking song I did,"
Oh
and that's
wow.
okay. Rather than them, I rather that than people go, "Oh, I like that song. Oh, you did that. Oh, yeah." And meaning, no, simply meaning not recognizing you. I'd rather
Yeah, yeah.
people know
Mhm.
you and then the other way, because I think it's not good to be, how many songs we knew from the 70s that were great songs, and you don't know, you see them now on IG and go, that was that dude? I didn't know that. But you just, you don't want to be bigger. You want to be bigger than your music. You
Yeah.
want to be bigger. You really do.
You
You
know what's
really
funny?
do.
You know what's funny is I've never ever saw. I don't know how I avoided it. I don't. I really don't. But I never ever saw Christopher Cross in person ever on. And I
Right.
happened to
And then
see
you
some
see him
I
on
saw some documentary and I was like, "Who the hell is
Are
that?"
y'all ready for this? Y'all ready for this? Are y'all ready? Are y'all
Yeah,
ready?
go ahead.
Prince was a ginormous fan of his.
I believe it.
Really?
Hmm.
Yep, because I
Yeah.
remember, one of the early times of meeting Prince and being at his house and just hanging out, and he he picked up acoustic guitar, and this is true. You have no reason to lie. Fuck that. I got my own platinum and gold shit and Grammys. I don't have to lie. I don't know, they suit nobody's shit. And he said this is how Christopher Cross gets the sound that he gets, and he showed me. He was a huge Christopher Cross fan. He was a huge
Wow.
Joni Mitchell fan. I think
Oh yeah.
Owen
We knew.
Husney's wife.
Hmm.
Think Owen Husney's wife turned him on to all of that stuff. But Minnesota
Okay.
was that kind of a city because it wasn't no black radio, just like Rock Island. So we
Right.
kind of had that in common. But we just came from different musics because he came from jazz or something, and and I think that when he started going to New York is where things really changed for him. And that's why that second album, y'all don't even y'all never all this shit is in my book, but he told me, he said it was weird, the fight that we all have within ourselves that has nothing to do with anybody else outside of us, just within ourselves. He told me that his second album, like the second album, was platinum. It was really huge, right?
Mm-hmm.
But he hated the record. Guess why? Because his first album didn't sell. It scared him. And he said, it scared me really bad. I thought I was going to get dropped. I thought I was going to get dropped. And then they said, and after his first record, they told him, you have to have a producer now. You got to have a producer. And then he was like, okay, cool. I'm down. As long as I don't get dropped, I get to fucking keep my deal. Da, da, da. And the producer they got for him was Ray Parker Jr. And Ray Parker being such a musician, such a sweetheart. And when I say musician, understanding the mentality. And he went and played for Ray Parker what he had.
Hmm.
And Ray Parker told him, "What? You man, you don't need no damn producer. Just keep doing what you're doing." Now think about that. Ray could have went on and got the money and the title and say, "Yeah, I'm producing it," and then really enough, but he didn't. And that's why I never understood until many, 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 many years later why him and Ray Parker were so tight. They were like really tight. And I never knew why or how or what that connection was. But yeah, it was the second album, but the second album was engineered and designed to be a fucking smash. And it was. That's why it was designed. And he
Hmm.
wrote that song about that girl. He wrote that song about Patrice Rushen, that I Want to Be Your Lover.
Mm-hmm.
He told me
Yeah.
everything. He told me everything about that. It's not this. My shit ain't secondhand. I'm talking live at Prince's house. I'm telling me that shit firsthand. And he just said, like, how the first album, how the synthesizers sound and all that shit? He got to LA and that LA girl knew her shit. Patrice knew her shit with keyboards and stuff.
Hmm.
And Patrice told him, no, you should be using this keyboard right here for horns. You should be using this for that. He told me this is from Prince to my ear hole.
Yeah.
And he tells me, he said, yeah, Patrice said you should, that's who turned me on to this and that and showed me this keyboard. And that's why the second album sounds drastically different from
Yeah.
everything. So when he does Sexy Dancer and all that shit, them horns and the strings and everything is like on, she pointed him. And then he told me that's who he wrote that about. That's why he said, I ain't got no money. I'm not that like the other guys here. He was in love with her, seriously. And that is from Prince to me.
Yeah. I rehearsed with her for a week and fell in love with her.
Anybody doubts that or says it's not true, go fuck yourself.
You're absolutely right.
No, she's a monster.
Yeah.
Jesse, we got to tie it up, man.
Thank God.
Yeah, I know. But let me just say,
clocks in my house.
Where, I could tell.
No, did you know there's no clocks in my house anywhere?
No,
not even on my phone.
Is that a feng shui thing, or is it just
It actually is. It's a secret. It's a secret to stop yourself from aging. Anytime
counting time. Yeah.
Anytime you can be be lost in time, it'll stop you. For real.
I'm a drummer. I can't never let it go. I'm always marking time.
I'm talking about a clock.
Yeah,
Tuesday, it's Wednesday. Like, I don't know what day it is. I have to put that thing, and then it pops up on the phone and says, you got to do this today at such and such time. Then other than that.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Well, before we let you go though, we'll prop it one more time. Jesse Johnson at Yoshi's in Oakland, August 28th and August 29th. And it's going to be, there's 3 shows. So one show on Thursday, which is going to be 90 minutes. Then Friday, you got a couple shows. And on top of that, Karin will kill me if I don't mention that there's a meet and greet on Friday, August 29th. And it's just, it's going to be phenomenal. And I wish I could make it. That I told you that I have the frequent flyer miles and everything, but my grandson is being baptized. Yeah, my grandson's being baptized that weekend. So it's just like, gosh, dang, man. It's like, I love you, Jesse.
I hope I can make it.
Is he talking to me?
He said he said
I said I hope I can make it.
Jesse,
I hope me can make it.
Yes, make it, Jesse, make it, brother.
And of course, one more time, if you want to get tickets, Funkatopia.com/Oakland will take you right to the Yoshi's page where you can get these tickets. It's probably sold out by now, but Funkatopia.com/Oakland. You like how I rephrased that this time? So y'all to give me any shit.
Let them know this is my last interview ever.
Interview. Okay.
Ever. I'm never doing an interview again.
All right.
What? Okay.
I know that. That's why I had you on the phone so long. Ask Karin. She'll tell you I'm not doing an interview no more. Just like after this, I'm not doing meet and greets either. I'm not. I'm just telling the truth.
All right.
I'm not doing.
I'm
glad I gave y'all enough time and
bunch of
stuff to replay because that's my last interview. Publicists ain't gonna like it, but it is what it is. I'm not interviewing.
Thank you for blessing us.
Like it, but
yes.
Thank you for blessing us, man. Thank you for blessing us with that.
Because you say something and somebody somewhere gets torqued by it and tweaked by it and whatever the fuck. It's just like it is what it is. Can't make everybody happy and everybody don't like you.
That's right.
So Jesse, how you feeling now? I know how you started the evening. How you feel? You feeling all right? Was this a good therapy session for you?
No, I was fine. I was fine before because I was hoping, and you didn't do it again. I thought people were asking me stuff, and y'all don't never tell me what they're asking me.
Well, I just, for the sake of you having to be repetitive on a lot of things.
I don't care if they're asking me because I don't answer stuff that people ask me on IGs and all that stuff. I don't answer them. So that's why I wanted to know what they ask, because then that's an insight for me of what people thinking, what they're interested in. Well, when it comes to me, that is.
You want a handful of them?
Yeah.
I'll start them. All right. Christopher Walter wanted to know on the show that you're going to be doing, are there any tracks from Verbal Penetration that are going to be happening?
Not this outgo. It's got to be after the new record comes out. Because then I'll be in better and proper places with the regular time constraint. It's just too choked out time wise to try to. I
can't remember. For some reason I unstarred some of these things because I didn't know if we'd be able to get to them or not. But somebody asked about, is there ever going to be a possibility of a time reunion? I know that's such a loaded question, but
it's kind of akin to I don't know, marrying the same person you already been married to before. I
Mm.
I can't get there. I thought about it. I don't know what anybody else is thinking. I just know I've thought about it, and I just, yeah, it's nothing to do with anything other than going backwards. It's hard for me to do that.
Anthony Richardson said, "Just Jesse, did you and Prince ever have battles on guitar trading licks?"
The whole time Prince and I knew each other. What's funny? Who's over there laughing?
I laughed because I thought what you were referring to was the fact that every time you two played together, it was always a battle. That's what I thought you were.
No. I said the whole time I've ever known Prince, it just at home in the house or in the studio. The whole time I've ever known Prince, even in rehearsals and stuff, Prince and I have never had a guitar in our hand at the same time. I would say, "What did you play on this Vanity 6 song?" And he would go, "Give me the guitar." And I'd just go pick up that guitar there and show me. He wouldn't. We've never had a guitar in our hand at the same time. He was weird with me about that because him and Dez definitely had, but we never had a guitar in our hand at the same time. And that's the honest to God truth.
Man.
Yeah. I for some reason, I guess I get that. I mean, I've had to play in front of like Dennis Chambers. I had to play in front of Tony Williams, and it was not comfortable being,
Yeah, but when he makes that, there's an article that somebody sent me, and he says, they was asking him all these weird questions. They asked him, I have the article here still somewhere, and he says, I'm the only guitar player that scares him. I don't even know what that way.
I believe that.
Yeah, but the thing about all that shit is all bullshit to me is because Prince and I were like really close friends, and he never when I went and made my records and this and that and that, and he never complimented me. He never gave me a compliment, and I was always pissed about that because I would never ever not compliment my friend, a friend of mine who's got a great record. I remember when Love Struck came out, I was at rehearsal and Sonny was in the band then, and a phone on the wall rang, and I answered it, and it was Morris Day, and he was in LA, and I ain't seen Morris in forever, and he was like, "Man, that Love Struck shit, oh man, that shit is bad as fuck." And then, like, Morris even said that to me, but I'm just saying Prince has never given me a compliment. So when Prince compliments me to you and other people, it wasn't the same,
Sure.
Just like if your girl compliment you want your girl to go, "Oh, I'm so proud of you. Oh my God, you're amazing." Especially if you're saying that to her, "You're so beautiful. You're so sexy." Blah blah blah. And she just says, even if she says it to other people or she writes it or posts it, but she doesn't ever say that shit to you. It's not the same. Not the same.
Sure.
Johnny Dengar says, "Are you still looking for copies of Ice Cream Castle with your producer credit feature? He was able to find a picture of a cassette copy with your name on the back."
Yes, but you know what I want to put out though, which I want you to put out because I want to use it for my some of the stuff on they're building my site and all that stuff. I want to use, there's people I've ran into all over the world that have my picture tattoo on them.
Really? That's nice.
And if anybody hears that and it can reach them and they can send me a picture of their tattoo and their name and everything else, and so whatever I do with it, they can be credited accordingly and properly and all that kind of thing. Or if it's something that has to do with retail, they could be compensated as well.
All right, brother. I always love talking to you, and we love hearing the stories firsthand. And again, thank you for coming back on. And it's no, the door is always open for you, Jess.
Mike,
it's always open.
Where's Sonny?
Always.
Sonny's in Italy right now.
He's not in that band. What's the band you were just talking about earlier when I was listening to y'all? Who's that? That's your new band?
Oh, you talking about Revelation? Yeah.
Revelation.
Yeah. Sonny's in that band?
Well, one day when he returns and he has time, sure, absolutely. But it's a platform for everybody, Jesse. I know you don't want to, but we're still going to ask you to come out and play if we get near you. You know,
I
and
ain't
you'll
playing
say
with
no.
y'all because y'all got that dude I don't care for in that band. I ain't gonna tell you who it is. I don't like that motherfucker at all.
All right, right on, man.
Yeah,
Good.
no
No,
names, no names, no
he always
names.
act like my shit was a joke before, so fuck off.
Okay.
Didn't my shit was a joke then? Let my shit be a joke now too as well. Fuck off. For real.
I got you, Jesse. No problem, man. We won't darken your door.
But I love playing with I got to play with Mike and Sonny before.
Yeah, man. No, Jesse, you're incredible.
What's the name again? What's the name of your band?
Oh, the name of the band is Revelation.
Oh, Revelation. Oh, I think Karn talked to y'all about that, right?
Yeah, and
Okay.
everything's cool. You know, yeah, we're not trying to bring any trouble your way, Jesse.
Ain't
Do
no
your
trouble.
thing, man.
I'm never no trouble. I just disappear on people. I'm never no trouble.
That's all right, man.
I'm just smooth to the taste. I'm never no trouble.
All right.
I'm never no trouble. I just have a bad reputation, but from the other days. But anyway, no, I'm good. I'm good. Well, who else in your band though?
Well, Dr. Fink's in the band.
Oh, Fink's in the band. I never got to play with Fink.
Rick and Homer from Mint Condition are in the band.
Okay. Oh, okay.
And Tommy Barbarella is also playing keys. And then
oh wow.
Yeah.
Hey, give my best to my warmest regards to Homer. I haven't spoke to him in a while.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Man.
And
what an honor.
Tell Homer to reach out to me. Reach out to me because I owe him some stuff for his kids. And I'll pull some stuff from the Yoshi's, some merchandise stuff from the Yoshi's thing for him. Because the stuff that I was supposed to give him, my daughter had it in Minneapolis, and she sold it or something. So
okay, I'll text him after we get off, man. No problem.
Yeah, let him know that. I ain't forgot. I have not forgot.
No problem.
All right, man. You two guys, y'all have a wonderful evening, man, and thanks for entertaining with me and laughing where I need laughs and thank you. I needed it. I did. I really did. I wish I could have talked more to people though, but I mean, at least hear their questions.
Yeah, I did have one more laugh for you, Jesse.
Then say it, my man.
Yeah. All right, here it is. Watch. Just a little video clip just for you.
Morning, officers. What y'all, the second team?
It's a video clip.
We're the first team.
Oh, I got something on the wrong screen.
Why
do I see it?
You're not gonna fall for the banana in the tailpipe? It should be more natural, brother. It should flow out like this. Look, man, I ain't falling for no banana in my tailpipe. See, that's more natural for us. You've been hanging out with this dude too long.
I played the banana and tailpipe clip.
Oh, where did y'all heard about that with me and D?
Yeah.
I know. He was like, he didn't know who it was. He's like, man, I'm gonna fuck you up when I find you. And that's when I lost it. I said, man, I could be anywhere in the world.
Right.
I didn't know where I'm. He was like, Jesse, man, you play too much. Hung up. I was laughing so hard I could hardly retain my composure. But yeah, thanks, guys. Thank you.
Thank you, Jesse. We really appreciate it, man.
We'll talk soon, brother.
Until the next time. Yeah, for sure. But yeah, I will have that thing done. I have to. For my own sanity, I have to have it done by the end of the year. For real.
Right.
Get your
everybody's waiting.
Now.
Yeah.
Funkatopia.com/Oakland. Get your tickets if there's any left. Get them now. Ladies and gentlemen, Jesse Johnson. Yeah, man. All right, get some rest, brother. We'll talk to you soon.
I think he's gone.
I think he's already gone. All right. Love you, brother. We'll talk soon. Ladies and gentlemen, Jesse Johnson.
Yeah, talk about disappearing on folks. He didn't even
man.
He didn't even say bye.
Yeah, man. Man, I hope you guys had a great time tonight. We would do a little bit more talking, but this is really long. 3 hours and 15 minutes with Jesse Johnson. What he has said will be his final interview. We'll see what happens. He's going to have to do some promo. He's going to have to do some legwork for the new album when it drops, I imagine. Which I saw some people asking about when that will possibly be. It's got to be the right timing for him, but he did say here that he's shooting for January. So there's that. Next week, we will be here. We will be here next week. Please make sure that you join us, because next week we will be welcoming the one and only Alan Bolio. Is going to be here. Prince's celebrated photographer. He did all the photography for Dirty Mind in 1999 and just the controversy eras and all that stuff. We're going to be showcasing some of his photos. We're going to be talking about a lot of the stuff, some of the stories behind it. Alan Bolio is going to be with us next Tuesday. So I hope that you guys are going to be around. And man, what a night, man.
That was a wild ride, brother.
Oh my God. All right. Let me let you guys go, because we got to get to bed, man.
Oh,
good night, everyone.
Good night.
Thank you for tuning in. We'll see you later. Goodbye.